All right, so when we started Fancy's Unfiltered, we told you that it was unfiltered and that we would have conversations of all types and sorts. And sometimes we let our mouths get the best of us and we say things that we might not should. That's why we have Fancy's Unfiltered.
Guilty.
But I believe that this will be the first episode that we've had that we may need to put a disclaimer out before we start. Viewer discretion
Is advised.
is advised. So tonight we have Clay Byrom. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are y'all?
We're good. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
I know we were talking we say probably 2009 is what I'm
yeah.
guessing.
That's
2009. Yeah.
So Clay is here tonight because of his extensive knowledge in everything that's probably going to freak you out just a little bit. I remember as a kid, you started pretty young.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is, when y'all were younger, he said, "Man, this dude's weird."
No, we were buds in school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you were friends with him.
Yeah. And at one point, I went out and bought a bass guitar because we was going to do something. It was me
Yeah.
and you and Chris, Leo, and
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
About to start a band.
and Cody.
Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was gonna, yeah, that never happened. I bought the
No.
guitar though.
Y-
I kind of learned to play it until I got rid of it.
Yeah. High school, man. Like, first of all, one thing, I was lost in your intro. It's great.
Thanks. I like
Very
it.
professional.
Yes.
So,
Made it my own
very
self.
cool. I was getting lost there for a second. And then it went from this beautiful screen of just, I've put money into this. I've really worked hard. And then I see me on this screen right here, and I'm just mortified at like how terrible I look.
Oh well, you
I'm
know
like,
what,
oh my
though?
God, like I need to just,
And we're not going to edit this out because everybody that knows and has watched has seen
Oh, yeah.
that we have yet to have an episode. But you
Where
know what?
something's not,
You know what? If this is the worst thing that happens,
They're getting that ass full right now, though, son.
we may have to cut it out.
Yeah, nah, hell.
it's not the lighting if that's what you're worried about. That's genuinely me, and I'm just like, man. But
No,
better. So
but now you do look better that the cords are out of the way.
yeah. But yeah, kind of going back to high school, after shaming myself publicly. Yeah, interesting. So we probably met ninth grade. Yeah, ninth.
Well, yeah, whenever you move there.
Yeah. And so I transferred schools. I had a weird transition. I talk about this a lot, and I'm gonna try not to drag this out and bore the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, just
But,
go ahead with it.
So I went from this really nerdy kid at a junior high, got picked on and bullied and all that kind of stuff constantly. And I was really into metal and stuff, really, really young, around 10 years old, into the horror movies. Mm-hmm. And I was like crazy obsessed with it my whole life because of my dad. And so I go from 8th grade to 9th grade. I moved to a new school, and I'm like, people always call it, I never considered it gothic. Because my last day at junior high, I show up wearing all black, white zombie shirt, like had, Marilyn Manson in my ears, and everybody already thought I was the devil as it was because of that. I was big into Manson. Still not much has changed, as you can tell by the wardrobe that, I'm showing up in band shirts still. You know what I mean? Everybody told me it was a phase for most of my life, and I'm like, I promise it's not.
It's not a phase, Mom. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. I had to defend that constantly, but so I get to Holly Pond, which is a much smaller school than what I was used to.
A little bit.
And I went because my best friend was going there, and I was like, I hate where I'm going. I'm so miserable. And so Jason, I transfer schools for him, and I know, like, right off the bat, I just had this crazy looking attire. You know, I was wearing jet black and band shirts and had my nails painted and stuff, like right off the jump. And everybody's like, "Whoa!" Like, oh, what is
for Holly Pond? That was
yeah.
In 2009.
This was 97.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're just old farts at this point, man. Like, so I go to this school, and what was crazy is like it was the best time of my life.
yeah.
You know, like I'm mingling with people. You know, of course, you had the older crowd that was kind of into all that same stuff. You know, like they were making me tapes, really, you know, bands I'd never heard and stuff, and so. So like I'm just fascinated with this whole metal world, and everything I wore was that way the entire year. But I still had the big glasses. They covered half of my head. You know, these glasses I wore, and I finally got contacts, and it changed everything. So I started wearing like different color. You know, my eyes were 2 different colors all the time, and you know, I'm sure that was Marilyn Manson, and you know, I wore rings and you know, different color nails all the time. You never knew what color my hair was going to be, what kind of hole I'd put in my face, and but I surprisingly got along with just about everybody.
Yeah, I don't think there was anybody really that had anything negative. There was probably a few, but it was just because of appearance.
Yeah.
If they hadn't have been so whatever and actually got to know you.
Yeah, it was wild. And unfortunately, it was probably due to partying. I partied a lot, you know, so.
Say it ain't so.
But, you know, so I hung out with a lot of people I wouldn't really at even school.
Right.
You know, but outside, you know, we were all party animals and stuff, like, and, but it was just fun. Like I just got a lot. Now, if I went to another, you know, like if I went to Coleman City or something like that, it was, you know, people did not know how to take me whatsoever. You know, the things I was called, people would stop and preach to me on the street. Mm-hmm. Parents were the worst, like the absolute worst of stopping. They have kids, like specifically when I went to the fair, I dreaded going to the fair with anybody because I knew I was going to get stopped and somebody was going to have something to say about my appearance. Mm-hmm. It never failed. And it would just me, you know, being like, dude, it's just a shirt. Like, I'm 14 years old. You're going to have to get over it.
So did you ever finally get to the point where you started blowing up on people? I mean, did you ever get to the point where, like, this is the damn enough?
Well, so it got a little bit darker than that, probably. So freshman year, me and my buddy that I just transferred schools to hang out with, this senior was relentlessly bullying him. Like every day bullying him. He was in a math class of ours, you know, and it was just, you know, calling fag, you know, it's fag all the time. That's what, you know, whatever. So we're 14 and we had this agreement in 9th grade. It's like, we are not taking this anymore. I'm here to start over a new life. We are not taking this anymore. And so this is kind of a bad, I will not use names or anything like that because this is terrible. But we created this crazy rumor, and it caught fire in the school. It caught fire, and this kid went from picking on us to like, I mean, it shut his world down.
You're going to have to remind me when we get off the...
Yeah, I definitely don't mind.
I want to know.
It was brutal. To us, it was so obviously stupid. We thought it would just piss him off.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it did not go that way. It got to the point where, you know, it had to do with farm animals and whatnot. And so, like, it got to the point where people would start making noises at him and stuff. And we genuinely felt bad about it because it destroyed, I mean, this guy went from, you know, poking at us all the time and, like, constantly doing that stuff to head down, arms overhead, not care, you know, like, it was bad. Yeah. We felt real bad about it. But at the same time, we never took anything again. So, and not fighting. We never fought. People wanted to kill us all the time, but like we just, I don't know. I look back and some of it's a little, you know, but genuinely, if we saw somebody picking on somebody, you know, like that drove us crazy. We couldn't stand it. So we had the weird kids kind of gravitated towards me quite a bit. They got really impressionable, wearing band shirts, and some would get tongue piercings and stuff and be like, look what I got, you know. And it was just fun. It was just a whole different world for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, I hung out with, like, I had really odd groups of friends. So I hung out with, from the cheerleaders to the football players, which were the partiers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that were partying hard. You know, it might be different nowadays, but in the 90s, my God, you know. And I had my, you know, I played music and stuff pretty young with a band with older people. And so I kind of hung out with them. They were more senior and stuff. And then I hung out with people that were like really great people, like you. You know, I considered you like just a solid, good guy, you know.
See, and we had some similarities because I would be in each group. There was somebody in each one of them groups that I was okay with that allowed me to be in each of those, and not really. There's only a few times that in school somebody messed with me. One, remind me and I'll tell you, but it was right after I moved back and bent them backwards over the railing going into the gym, and told him I would do bad things, and I didn't have any problem after that. And that was just with that one kid. But I always got along with everybody because I didn't really care at a young age, you know. It is what it is. That's how you are, and that's how you are, and you know. So
yeah, like that's a lot. You know, a lot of people that didn't really get to know me and stuff, like they definitely saw me in a weird light. Teachers were like, you know, a lot of people, I guess, and I didn't really understand a lot of it until I got older.
yeah.
You know, and I'm like, man, I was constantly having to defend myself in some capacity in public, like, but I was so dead set after that bad experience when I was a kid. You know, like when you're getting bullied, like I was getting bullied, you know, it was every day.
Yep.
And what actually started, you know, I was already the nerdy kid, but I had a Marilyn Manson magazine in class. So Marilyn Manson, you know, this all is, I promise this is going to have something to do with kind of Halloween in my story here. I promise.
We're getting there.
I don't know if I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
You're
You're
good.
good. Even if you are rambling, you're rambling with passion, and it's not slow. That's the only thing we've been dinged for so far. Is just
I'm not slow. You might have to slow me down, but
Yeah.
I get kind of, yeah, it's party time, you know, when I'm on these things.
Yeah.
But so he became this figure in my life from that point, because he, at that time, like this was pre-Columbine. So you're talking about, this is 96. Manson, that Antichrist Superstar album dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been listening to him already for probably a year or two, even before that. When this album came out, like something triggered in me so hard. And I promise the only qualm I've ever had with that album is the title. I look crazy, but I come from a very religious family, and I may look crazy, but I'm you know, I have respect, and I also have my own personal faith. So, like, but he became this figure in my life where I'm like, okay, I felt like defending that, like I was defending myself for the first time.
Right.
It caused a lot of, that's what amped up the bullying, is when I was kind of like, I'm not letting this go. This is what I like.
Right.
I can't be afraid of this. I can't be afraid to get picked on because of this. Like, and it became a different kind of thing. Not that I never took Manson seriously.
Right.
He was a stage child. I grew up on Kiss and Alice Cooper and Ozzy and all that stuff from my dad.
You were able to understand that what
the show, man.
Right. And that's what a lot of people, and I get it now. You said something a minute ago about understanding things a little bit better as you get older. Like, I see it now with some of the stuff our kids are doing. Yours are probably just a smidge too young just yet, but the things that they're able to see and do and whatever. And so as a parent now, you go, you know, it's not really that bad, but you know, is that too young, or you know, whatever it is. It always started back then, and in that age, now I'm rambling, you would think that's not that big a deal. It's just a shirt.
Yeah, right.
But the older people go, oh, that's.
Oh yeah.
But now that I'm older, I kind of see both sides, and again, I kind of go down the middle of, like you just said, respect him as the artist, respect what he does. Title may be a little bad, but I've been to a big mega church sermon that had some pretty scandalous names, and it was designed to draw you in and make you essentially pissed to go see what they're. That's not the time or the place. Anyway, my point was, you can separate the two.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Sorry, that took a minute to get
No,
there.
you're good.
But I got it, and I wasn't slow about it, I don't think.
that was always the thing. Like I grew up on these acts, that were considered shocking, but it was all entertainment. Man, it was fun. I was into horror movies from, so young, that it all kind of tied together.
Yeah.
These big performances, and they're cool looking in their skulls, and there's, Gene Simmons is the demon, and, all this kind of stuff. So it was just grandiose,
Yep.
and that's how I saw Manson, the ultimate showsman, or showman. And like, I was all of a sudden, I was defending this guy, and it's weird because, I talk about the title because I'm like, my favorite album of all time is Antichrist Superstar, and it always felt bad. There's a guilt that's tied into that in a weird way, you know what I mean? And so that's why most of my wardrobe through high school was just Marilyn Manson. And it wasn't that I was trying to draw attention. I just loved it, and I'm like, this is what I want.
Yep.
If I want, if I want to have spikes coming out of my face, and, I was covered in piercings at a young age too. And my mother is a very Christian woman, has never deviated not a day of my life. And she didn't know how to handle it. It's so early on. We had to have, I was not able to have anything Marilyn Manson at all. And, all of a sudden, I had tapes, like bootlegging, like I was trafficking cocaine or something, or I'm hiding tapes of Marilyn Manson. I'm getting people to, to make me mixtapes and stuff. And then I started having friends that go to CD stores and buy them and then give me actual discs and stuff. And I finally just talked to her. I was like, it's just a show, it's just a show. Manson's all over the news. Antichrist Superstar is, hit number 3 in the world, or on the Billboard. And everybody was terrified of this guy. Like, he was the devil has entered Earth. It is about to go up in flames. Like, this is going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
And,
World's ending.
And so you get tied to that, and you get a lot more scrutiny than if it was like Pantera. I was thrown out of places. Like the teen club that I used to go to. It's so crazy to think now. This is 90s, guys. But, it's teen club. Everybody went, and like I would get escorted out if I didn't turn my shirt inside out. And so constantly I'm having to be I'm not doing it.
I had that happen, same shirt. Well, not same exact shirt, but you know what I mean. It was some kind of a band shirt I had on, and I went to the Loft in Arab.
That's where
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, and I got told you can turn it inside out, and you can. It was in the 90s, so I think I had a flannel or something, wrapped around, ready to go, and so I think I had to turn it inside out, and then I put the flannel on, and then so and I mean, that's stupid, but. In the 90s, people was fighting people and shit over shirts and
we had a lot of encounters with people that we were having to defend. Sometimes we went too far, with stuff. We thought things were fun,
Yep.
You did things that you thought were funny at the time. You look back and you're like, man, I needed to defend myself. Like, I probably shouldn't have gone that route. That was probably bad.
That one might have been
we went for mental more than physical. And but we had our little weird circle of friends. We didn't really hang out with them and stuff, but we felt like we needed to protect them.
Yeah.
Like I saw like what you would consider popular kids back in the day, like we watched them torture this guy, and I got along with most of them, but
Right.
the bullies and stuff, boy, we it was bad. Like, we were in faces all the time. And so, you know, we protect these guys. They gravitated toward us, and, you know, we'd hang out with them a little bit outside, but like, I was weird. I liked weird things. I dressed weird, but I wasn't weird. Like, so you hung out with, you know, outside, and it got a little weird, you know, like when it goes anime route,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like old school anime, you know, now it's huge. It's crazy popular now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I mean, it was like, you know, it was like porn, you know, almost.
Yeah.
Well, and now they've merged those two together. I think.
Yeah, and that's really huge.
I don't know how people.
But it was so niche.
Not hating about your thing, man, but yeah, I just,
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. It's bigger than anything have ever thought about being into. Like, there's no doubt. My stuff is way weird in a different direction, but I get it totally. But you know, but we had this little group, and they were fun, and I got to be in all these worlds.
Right.
You know, that's how I looked at it. You know, I went to a very, you know, it was a very country school.
A little bit.
But there was something about like I could never grow up now. Like, now I would be Antifa.
Yeah.
That would be me. You know, what's weird is I kind of understand their mentality because I was so immature.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I could have fell for anything. I was against every establishment in the world.
Can you imagine if the thought processes of the youth in the 90s had access to the things that we have now?
Oh, dude, we were animals back then. Tough. We were tough. You know what I mean? Not like, I'm not talking about fighting tough.
Yep.
Mentally tough. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
shit, they ain't nowadays.
No. And
you had to be.
but I've told people from the time that I could look at certain types of pictures onto interwebs, and then it gradually made it to where now you have the smartphone, which is, you know,
dude.
and so if I had in my youth access to the things that I have access to now, or the things that they have access to now, I'd be dead.
Bro, oh man, I would have been so self-destructive. It's unbelievable, and I already was. I discovered things way younger than I ever should have in my life, and it, in a way, it made me so curious so young. I didn't understand.
So there was a time. So I moved out here from Georgia. Sorry, I don't think we totally meant to go down memory lane, but you know.
It'll tie. It'll tie.
It'll tie.
Yeah. So when I moved out here, 7th grade, 12 years old, came from Georgia. I think there was like 37 or 3,800 kids in middle school. So what? 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, there was like 3,900 kids. And moved to Holly Pond, K through 12, it was like 897, I think, when I moved out here. First day, middle school out there, we didn't have homecoming. Moved out here, very first day was in the middle of homecoming week. And every damn body at that school was walking around in some type of hippie-looking outfit offering me a joint. It was either, some of them looked kind of real, and then some of them were just rolled up paper. When they started getting to the paper ones is when I started going, wait a minute. And so then Arlie Benefield, I'll say her name because we're not saying anything negative. She was sweet.
Yeah, she's best.
She was like my first person that said, hey, how you doing? You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so I asked her, why is everybody offering me a joint? And she said, well, it's homecoming week. I said, what is homecoming week? Because we didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so my very first day at a brand new school, already scared shitless because, you know, it's a brand new school.
Yeah.
And I was never the most outgoing person anyway. So I know that's a surprise. So
Shocker.
yeah. So very first day, everybody's walking around. dressed like damn hippies, offer me a joint, and I go, what the hell?
Yeah.
But then I soon figured out it was so that culture shock of coming to that little itty bitty country school. But now, just like you said, hindsight, because I grew up in a much larger area and then came out here, there's no damn way that I would ever want to raise my kids anywhere other than here ish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like we put our kids in Catholic school. We're like, we're not even gonna worry about anything. Like let's just
Wait a
do
minute.
it.
I've saw a lot of movies about stuff kids do at
Yeah.
Catholic schools.
Yeah.
You might want to look into that when they get a little older.
Yeah, the boy for sure. Just kidding.
Not joking.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we left off, you know what I mean? Like kind of that time period, you know, kind of post high school, like, yeah, kind of getting on talking about more horror. So I had a transition kind of like, I was huge into horror movies, but, I went to a Monster Mania and right after high school, I think the year after, flew to New Jersey just to meet Robert Englund. You know, I was obsessed with Nightmare on Elm Street for like, you know, as long as I can remember. It was my dad he has a framed picture that I drew when I was 4, Freddy Krueger. I saw Dream Warriors. My cousin that babysat me let me watch Dream Warriors. You know, when it came out on VHS, I was four, probably going on 5. You know, somewhere around there. Freddy Krueger. I mean, he was my Batman. I mean, you know, went from superheroes, went Spider-Man to Incredible Hulk, and you know all this stuff to Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
I mean, hardcore. You get into the late '80s with Freddy Krueger. You know, that's when he was funny. You know, he had this personality. You know, he it was kind of influenced from, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the '80s. They started giving him catchphrases and stuff, and like, I just thought he was the funniest, best thing I've ever seen in my life. And I had a weird fascination with Freddy, and you know, had the gloves and you know, drawing pictures. You know, like I said, my dad has this picture framed and had Robert Englund sign it and all this stuff. And when I met him in person, everything changed, and I wanted to meet everybody.
So that was one of the things that I was going to touch on was that. So we hadn't seen each other, but we've been the friends on Facebook since it came out.
Yeah,
And so yeah, you've traveled quite a bit and saw quite a few peoples.
yeah, oh yeah. I've been doing it now. We went in like this is like 2003. It was like my first horror convention.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just right off the bat, I'm like, I'm home. I'm here. You know, like
Like a fat kid in a candy store.
yeah. And I mean, so the first year was all about Robert Englund. I mean, there was multiple other people there. You know, Tony Todd that was Candyman. You know, I can't remember, King Kersinger he was Freddy versus Jason. That Jason.
Yeah.
And so tons of other people. I'm going blank right now on everybody, but that just started this.
You just named 4, and that was 3 more than I knew.
But, so that
I had Freddy.
yeah, that started this fascination. So I started going. You know, we went back the next year. They had like Heather Langenkamp and John Saxon, and you know, like from the original movie, and I mean, could not believe it. You know, it was just a brain melter. You know, meeting these people, and so I just got hooked. I started going to everything, spending way too much money.
Yep.
I was just blowing through money going to these things, but I was just having a blast. And that's when the horror collecting come in, and
So do you still do that? Because I saw that you started offloading some stuff.
yeah. So once I had kids, like, you know, I had to be very conscious of the stuff that I own.
Yeah.
Because I got heads everywhere, and you know, movie props, and
He's got
Wow.
heads.
yeah, it's, you know.
I'm out.
But at the time, you know, like I had a huge, massive room, wall to wall decked out. I just had way too much stuff.
Not to interrupt. It's bothering me. Not to interrupt. Could you imagine You're 3. You get up. Your cup's out of milk. You're crying. You pissed your pants. You go to run to your parents' room, and there's just fucking heads sitting on it. Dude, for example, my child, you know how Grafton is. Dude would fucking die. Dude, I'm out on the heads, man. Sorry, I don't mean it my fault, but it was itching, dude. It fucking bugged me.
That stuff didn't bother him too much, like mainly my stuff was Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, massive collection, but I collect Kevin Smith stuff too. That's the other big part. But so when I first had my daughter, she would come in there and just kind of wide-eyed, not understanding what all this is,
Right.
And so it's kind of like my dad told me, like, I'm into some crazy horror movies. I watch the basic stuff. Nightmare on Elm Street, like I said, is my all-time favorite. But I go foreign films. Like you go all over the place. So you see some wild stuff. I mean, hell, these new Terrifier movies, bro, like brutal. And it blows my mind. I'm a fan of them. Like, I love them. And I feel guilty at the same time for loving them.
And what is this now?
Terrifier, Art the Clown. If you've never seen it, they're wild.
You're going to have to make us a list before you leave.
So
I'll check it out.
Right now, the third one is in theaters now. Like, right now. And it's the number one. It's beating Joker 2. It's nuts because these are indie horror films. I saw the first one right when it first came out. And the clown, like, Pennywise not got shit on Art the Clown.
I'm probably out.
He's so menacing.
I thought about it. I'm out.
So menacing, such a menacing character. But, like, when he murders people, it's just the most graphic shit you've ever seen in your life.
Okay, I'm back in.
And
I'm back in.
And when I saw the first one, I was like, "Whoa, this is hardcore. Like, this is way more." I wasn't prepared.
They're putting this on TV now.
And so I immediately bought it. I was like, "This is nuts. I can't believe." Then they made a second one that was crazier than the first. Now this third one. So the other two. I mean, you had to drive. 3 theaters in Alabama may have gotten it.
Yeah.
So when the third one came out, and I saw Coleman, Alabama had it in the theater, I'm like, there's no way. I was like, I have to see it this weekend, or they're going to pull it. There's no way this is playing.
Yeah, because there was picket lines for Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. People even thought that was the devil, man. It was nuts.
Did you ever hear about that? Because that was before your time of really paying attention to anything.
Probably.
Because we were in school, like in middle school or early high school.
High school, yeah.
I was probably learning how to walk or something. My bad.
No, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I mean, nowadays you think Harry Potter. Oh yeah, let's all get around as a family and watch Harry Potter. When it first came out, there was damn picket lines, and you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Some of the Harry Potter movies used to scare me as a kid.
Yeah, but scary is one thing, but they were full-fledged. This is witchcraft.
Yeah.
And if you actually watch the damn thing...
I mean, that could still be a thing today. Oh, yeah, they were great movies.
Yeah.
I used to read the books and then watch the movies, which is, if everyone that knows me, is ironic to even believe.
I was fixed to say, I didn't see that, but it's whatever.
In between there, I just stopped learning how to read. Can't talk neither. Fucking Boomhauer. Hear that cornbread? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man, when I saw that was in the theater, I just blew my mind. So I went and saw it that weekend. And right from the beginning, I mean, it's just so brutal. I mean, just the start of it. And for whatever reason, like, I'm watching everybody's reactions. I love doing that when I'm in a theater, when I know something like, this doesn't belong here.
No.
This movie does not belong in this town. And so you had parents with some, teenage kids, and, you could tell the ones that had seen the other two or not. And man, when he starts killing people, you saw people putting their arms over their heads. You had there was only a couple of people that actually walked out, but like you seen parents leaning their kids being like, what have you done? Like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Why are we watching? This is a snuff film. But it's just, it's that brutal. You feel guilty about watching that kind of stuff, but I watch a wide range of everything. But
Do you remember Faces of Death?
absolutely, yeah.
Do you know where you can find it still? Because
No.
I have looked. I even looked. The interwebs. You're supposed to be able to find anything. I've looked for years because we would go to movie gallery over there where New China's at,
Yeah.
and they were about the last place that kept it, and watched every damn one of them. And there was, I can't remember how many there were.
4 or maybe 5.
I was thinking it was 4 or 5 or 6. I couldn't remember, but anyway, that was the Faces of Death was from all over the world. Videos, and like there was people being pulled apart, 2 Jeeps, like live footage. It's not edited, just people falling from skyscrapers, and somebody had a camera and watched it, and they go, and you see everything. It was.
That'd be pretty dope.
It was.
Yeah, and man, we used to watch all that stuff, executions, and all these crazy stuff. And what's weird is I got into my 20s, and like, you'd watch that kind of stuff all the time. And there was one specific video, of this Russian killing this guy. Now I won't go into detail, but it was like real death, and it was like one of the most graphic things I'd ever seen. And I was like, for something, it just clicked in my brain where I'm like, whoa, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
This is real death. Like, and of course, I obviously always knew it was real death, but when it clicks with you, like, I guess probably the humanity side of it, that's where I get different. Like, some people can watch that stuff. I can't stomach real death, like real
Right.
death. It was weird that I look back and I'm like, it's weird that I even watched it and was like, we'd be eating popcorn watching somebody getting eaten by an alligator and be like, and just hee-hawing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, this popcorn needs some more salt. Can you pass this on?
Yeah. You wouldn't even think about it. Where now, if I'm like, oh my God, this guy's getting murdered by an alligator. It's weird how your brain just
Yeah. So I don't.
switches like that.
Mine. So like those videos, like you see, like you get sent on Facebook, and it's like the cartel and stuff.
Yep.
See,
I
like,
can't do it.
See, like that don't bother. I remember. I watched one. I'm not gonna say who sent it to me, but it was they had this guy's arms tied behind his back, had his feet tied together, like at his ankles, and they cut his legs off at the knee socket and started beating him with his legs.
Oh my
And
God.
then they cut his arms are still tied up. And then they cut, and he's alive, screaming this whole time. And then they cut his arms off at his shoulders and stuff. And I started beating
Man.
with that. And then I remember another one that they had. He had like a pickaxe, not pickaxe. I don't know what it is. It's some like old. Yeah, maybe it was a pickaxe. And this guy was like tied up too, like laying on the ground. And he took the pick and would slam it through his chest, and you could hear it just suck a hole through his chest. And then they got a dog out and put it on. The dog was like ripping his throat. And I can sit there and watch that stuff and be like, damn, it's gnarly and stuff. But I'm like, for some reason, it don't bother me. And I'm like I hate to say it's kind of cool in a way because it's.
Well, see,
That sounds like a bad damn day to me.
Yeah.
Well-
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I just
rough.
it don't bother me. I'm just like, damn, fucking.
yeah, and
It's
so
graphic. I like it. I guess it's graphic.
I've always, and we've talked about it before, but I hadn't talked to you about it yet. But so my thing on scary stuff, I will do gory, I will do any of that. But you give me some kind of demonic something that's crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
Fuck. No. Sorry for Mike. Sorry.
Oh,
But,
I think we're past that.
yeah.
I gave the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Or some type of ghostly afterlife something. I'm out.
Any paranormal or
Any-
demonic.
Anything. So I know I knew that you were into all of the gore
yeah.
and the slashers and all of that. Where are you at on? Do you dive as deep on that type of stuff as well?
oh,
like
yeah.
the whole
Oh, yeah.
Annabelle and the Conjuring type stuff.
Those are okay. Not
Well, I'm sure
not
you
bad.
like stuff that's 10,000 times worse
Worse.
than that. But I'm like that. No, dude. I would.
Yeah, no,
crawl out of
Yeah.
my fucking. Well, I know
I'll watch them all. Like I'll watch everything.
Well, I could watch them, and I like in a way like I like them, you know. But like like you don't know me, but then like I'm a fucking paranoid person.
Slightly.
We talked about it with my dad when we had him on here. Like I've seen ghosts. I believe not ghost spirits. You know, like I've seen, but I've also seen stuff like the crazy demonic type. So just a quick story, that to it, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. When I was in the Marine Corps in boot camp, they made us do this. I think it was in like third phase. They made us do this thing where every hour, I think it was every hour, two guys would wake up and go be the rover for outside. So instead of just doing fire watch in the barracks over us, whatever, it's just stuff they prepare you for. But we had to go outside, get our guns, go outside and patrol the barracks. Like we were in a fob or something. Blah blah blah. Just teaching us stuff. But I remember I was with this little bitty scrawny black boy. I think his name was Williams. Cool. We never really talked until the end. He was a little cocky little dude. There he goes. And I just always hated him. Just always running his mouth. But we got talking that night. It's dark. I mean, we're doing it like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was in a hotel company, so it was, the barracks were shaped like an H. And so we were like walking around. You would go back at the front, to the guy that was on duty there, report in, blah, blah, blah. So we get to talking about doing, like seeing, the whole spiritual thing, seeing spirit, stuff like that. He's telling me stories, and I'm like, if I really believe a story you're telling me and stuff like that, I get cold chills every time. I get sick. I feel like I'm gonna throw it like it's, versus sometimes somebody tells me something, I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. So we're into it. We're telling stories, and we're both, to this point, we're freaked out. I'm already a paranoid person, so I'm tripping at this point. And Paris Island is haunted. I mean, you look back, I forgot what, I should feel bad. Look back at these stories about all the recruits and stuff that died. This drill instructor took them out into this creek that runs through there. IT'd them, made them PT basically in water until they just couldn't even hold themselves up in water anymore. They all drowned. So it's just, the place is haunted, the rumors of, about like everything else. Anyways, so we talking about like that kind of aspect of it. And there used to have these 2 really big oak trees outside next to sand pit at the end of the barracks. And we were talking about the creepy stuff and, the whole, like, demonic thing. And he got talking about, like, a Slender Man type of deal thing. And I might have just been freaked out because we were talking about it. But I swear, because I could see it so vividly, we walk around the back side of the H and go around the corner so we can keep walking and look at that. And I swear, it was long, black, like you would, like the movie type deal. And just wrapping around the tree. Like looking at, and then we both like froze, look at each other and look back, and you just, I mean, like you would imagine it in a movie clip. For the rest of the time we were out there, we'd walk to the front to where the duty was. We'd walk back around not even around the corner to even go over there anymore, and did that. And they finally, after 2 times, they was like, "Why don't y'all like?" And we told them, they was like, "Yeah, no, you're good. Do you?" Dude, but it and
So
stuff like that.
it's that big of a thing that is big of a...
Yeah, about like my Bigfoot, man. It just stuff like that. It just but like I like it, but I get so paranoid that like if we sat here right now, or if I went home with my wife and we watched The Conjuring, something like that, or one of these new movies that's out, I would not sleep. And if I did, I would have nightmares about it. And I'm just now getting to the age where I'll walk in the deer woods by myself without being too paranoid. I'm fine going in. I don't like coming out. I'll say it. Y'all hate on me all you want to. When I go deer hunting, I'll come out before it's dark. Because I'm walking 800 yards in the middle of Bankton National Forest. I'm coming out before it's dark. Because I can be fine going in. I know what I just came from. You would think it would be, but there's so much more back behind me. I can't do it, dude. It paranoids the fuck. So I can't watch it. And I wish I could. I wish I could like them and sit there because I think it's not really cool. I really don't think that. But I don't know. But I feel like my wife and like you, whatever. I mean, like y'all can sit there and like, I'm like, no. We try to find a movie. I'm like, we want to watch. Let's watch a scary movie. I'm like, no. No way. If she can watch it, be perfectly fine, not bother. And I know a bunch of people like that, and that's perfectly fine, but that's not me.
So, that there's a certain someone's party that you're invited to that was discussed earlier.
Yeah.
And in that party festivities, which now that we're reunited, you're welcome to come as well. There's going to be movies in the darkness on the big screen.
What kind of movies though?
It's a Halloween themed party.
I mean, as long as it's not paranormal, demonic, something like that, I can stand that. I'm a big kid now. I've accepted the fact that I can probably just watch those and be okay because it's a different aspect.
So my wife that you got to meet earlier is about on your same level. She may not be. She may need to be reintroduced. If it wasn't for me, she would probably be on your same level. But because we're the type couple that I'm not going to watch it if you're not going to watch it, you know. So she's tamed down a lot. But if I was any bigger of a man and would watch some of the stuff that she wanted to watch, she would probably be on your same level. So her birthday themed party this year, because she's turned into Big 4-0, she requested that it be hosted here in Fancy's and then on the patio with the TV, and then we'll put up the projector and then everybody bring their like blow up pools or whatever and blankets and have a in the yard party and watch scary ass movies in the darkness. That's what she wants.
It's a good time.
And that's what you said that we had talked about earlier.
Dude, I was trying to save you.
Y'all were coming.
Now that you say that, I remember us talking about it, but dude, that's been a minute. I didn't know that there was updated plans that my wife was supposed to bring something.
Oh yeah, potato soup, because you talked it up.
I've been wanting some like that. My wife makes the best potato soup. Now, look, everybody in my family can cook. I still my grandmother, her grandma, pioneer women. I mean, like homemade scratch biscuits. My family cooks. My stepdad's always smoking. My dad's cooking stuff on the grill and smoker and stuff too. I mean, everybody's cooking, smoking meat, everything. Just everybody can damn cook. Everybody knows my wife makes potato soup. Everybody. Even she has her grandmother's, and I've told this to her grandmother, so I can say it publicly. Gave her own like potato salad recipe. Makes it the same way, but she does something just a smidge different. She uses that her mama don't use, and it even her. She's like, you gonna make the potato salad? I mean, it's something about the potato. Now she's a good cook. Don't get me wrong, but she's got the potatoes down, so that's normally what she kind of cooks is the potatoes.
Sorry. I told you we get sidetracked. We went from horror movies to potato salad.
Well, I shit you not. I started getting hungry, so your pitch was pretty good. I was like, damn, potato soup does
got
sound
chunks of bacon in it.
Kind of good, man.
So my tater soup, I usually put Kaneka in it and bacon.
Kaneka sauce. Hey, Daniel, we got to start firing up the grill again.
I've been busy.
I know. Hell, we've had this going on.
Yeah, it's been a bunch.
So we're watching. But is it Freddy Krueger movies?
It's gonna be her choice. It's her birthday.
Well, I'm not to be rude. If it's paranormal stuff, if I even get to come,
okay. So I can assure you that it will not be paranormal, because even though it's her birthday, she lives with me and she knows that I damn sure will not watch
we're good
paranormal movie.
What
Definitely won't watch it in a women pool in the yard in the darkness.
So what's I'm out. What's your take of that aspect of movies? I guess I mean I know like The Conjuring for me and stuff. I'm like that's really bad to me. I mean, what's your version of? You're like okay, this is where I stop.
Where I stop?
You probably don't stop. Who am I kidding? But
no.
Like what's bad for you? You know.
Like too extreme.
Yeah.
I don't like stuff with a lot of sexual violence.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm not really for that. Terrifier had maybe a smidge. Like it's got to make sense and not be gratuitous. You know, I'll preface this by saying, you know, what I like about horror movies that are like the gore and stuff like that. It's not the violence, the gore. I like the effects behind it.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing.
Like shit, that looks
like
real.
If I could have had a dream job, it would be to do makeup and effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
So did you ever get to meet the dude from here, from Fairview?
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only got to meet him once. We talked for 15, 20 minutes, and
You know, my wife was in that movie.
a lightning bug.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
She was extra. She didn't even have a speaking part, but I'll have to show it to you because I know you'll appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a big deal, man.
Yep.
Yeah, and he went on to do like Chrome Skull and Chrome Skull 2, and yeah, I hate he passed away. I don't know details or anything, but I was like, man, because I'd met him probably a year or two earlier, and so I was like, man, I'm glad I got to at least chat with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, see, and that's what I've always found cool, that you've had the ability to go and talk to all these people and do that. You know, I would have never had the passion to go. You know, I like a shitload of people,
Yeah.
but to go, I'm gonna make it my point. I'm gonna go up there and do that.
And it makes horror movies like a different thing when you're meeting the people and having conversations with them, and they're all having a lot of fun. They talked about how much of a blast it was. They're sculpting these crazy fake dummies, and they're blowing them apart, and they're having a blast doing this stuff. But on the opposite end, it's like the most horrific thing you've ever seen. So if you kind of see how the sausage is made,
Right.
it makes it not as just over the top violent to that
See,
point.
and I've never thought about watching it that way. I've never thought about watching it and appreciating the artistry behind it.
Yeah, I've been watching
I'm
it going,
watching it.
oh, but this isn't scary.
I'm
I'm like a child, dude.
Yeah, and there's things that make me cringe. It's not like I sit there and go, oh yeah, when something unnerves me, I'm like, that was cool. Talking about the artistry and stuff, it's like that's what has always been my fascination. When I talked about music, Marilyn Manson, all that's garbage, artistry.
Yep.
So that's always been my big thing over extreme. Like, is this stuff really evil? No, this is all pretend. This is it's
Okay.
a weird
Yeah,
pretend. I'm not going to pretend it's not odd.
It's funny you say it's pretend, because when I was young and trying to watch, like like the scary movie, like Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, that's making fun of
Sure.
It took me until like within the last 10 years to realize that. Like, someone finally told me one day, was like, it's just like, I'm like, really? Yeah. So then I actually watched them and I was like, oh, these movies are funny. But as a kid, I was probably nearly a teenager at the hunting club and stuff, and I'd be on midnight or something, I'd be trying to watch it, and used to try to tell myself, it's just pretend. But I would be like, I was so paranoid. I was just like, can't watch it.
And see, going back to the paranormal stuff, even with my newfound, I never thought about doing it that way.
That stuff's real.
Yeah, my thoughts around that type stuff, I think are gonna.
Wow, I'm about to crawl out of my skin.
I think that overrides my newfound ability to look at it for the artistry, because yes, I can still look at it for the artistry, but I get the heebie-jeebies about the real stuff that I feel could possibly be out there, and then if you do admire it for its cinematic qualities, then you just now you really messed up.
Yeah,
it's weird because like it's not that I like having an uneasy feeling, but when something gives me that, it's kind of a rush. I don't know if that's sick or not in a weird way.
Not right.
But it's danger without real danger.
Yeah.
To a sense,
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets their jollies from their own places.
Like I said, I wish I liked them like that. I wish I was like, no. I'm like,
it's weird because like I was pretty wild appearance in the day, but I was still a lot more reserved then than I am now. When I got older, my taste broadened like crazy. So I didn't care,
Yeah.
I used to pick everything apart. I was one of those critical nerds, you know what I mean? Like, pick everything apart. And the older I got, I started liking the most corny. I mean, you name it, I'll watch it. It can be terrible. I've been watching Crackoon, like, and I can't make it through it yet because it's so bad. You know, it's one of those I have to like watch it for a little bit and then turn on something good to get the taste out of my mouth. But I'm determined to finish it.
And where do I find Crackoon?
I don't know, VOD, Video on Demand. I think Voodoo.
Okay.
But it's so bad. You know, like, you know, you get desensitized to bad stuff after a while. You try to find the fun in it. You know, like that's always kind of a goal, and it doesn't always work. I don't know if you're familiar with Glenn Danzig.
No.
So he made a Western vampire movie, and Death Rider something. I'm going blank on it. But
I'll put it back in.
I mean, I've never wanted to stab my eyes out so bad in my life. It's The Room without the charm. You know, like it's just, it's awful, and I've yet to make it through it. It's beating me, and it drives me crazy. I can't sit through it, but I'll watch it for 10 minutes and be like, man, this is like.
But see, that's admirable that even though it sucks ass,
yeah,
you're still you're still determined. One day you're gonna mark that off the list of stuff you've accomplished.
I love Danzig so much, and I want to finish it for Danzig. You know, I got Danzig tattooed on my back. You know what I mean? Like, I love Misfits and Danzig, and it breaks my heart when I'm sitting there just cringing the whole time I'm trying to, you know.
Should have been horror.
Yeah. So there's a nice segue. So we was going to discuss some tats. So are you still able to know exactly how many you have?
No.
Yeah.
Not at this point.
Yeah, I figured you.
You got legs, but
Yeah.
I gotta catch up. Yeah. I got. Yeah.
I'm working on my back, got my arms, but I still haven't been able. So preface this: there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing whatever. I would never do my face.
No, absolutely
no,
not.
absolutely
Can't
not.
can't do my face.
Throat.
Love you, Jelly Roll, but it takes a big person to do the face, and I can't do the face. But with that being said, in my current career, still, it's not appeasable to go any further than where I've gone. So, you know, if that were to ever change, I might show up tatted from my fingertips back. Who knows? But
yeah.
I am working on it. So I had one in the middle, and then I tried to add some over here, and it was awful. Hated it. So now I'm getting the whole thing covered. And going into it, he said it's probably going to take about 7 full day sessions. I said, that's cool. And so he was going to start over here, and I said, do you mind? Can we start over here, and let's get the bulk of this covered up? Because at this point, I hate it so damn bad that I had much rather have a half-assed finished cover-up for another year, you know, because my schedule and, you know, and now the economy is and a super-duper full back piece by somebody that knows what they're doing. It's not extremely cheap. Remember?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I said, you mind do it? Let's start on this side and let's cover that up first. So even though it's just the start of something big, and it kind of looks like shit at the moment, that's just because of the process. I'm still way better. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
More than I was. I hated it so bad. It was so bad. Not that it was. There was nothing wrong with anything of the artistry of either artist.
Yeah.
Especially the one that was in the middle. Super detailed. It was awesome. I fucked up by sticking something else beside it, thinking that it was good enough to go with it, and then the dude I had do it, and a lot of them don't care. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus, but I wish somebody that had the expertise that does that go, dude, that's gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
And I've been like, cool. Now what do we need to do then? But I took it to him, and I was like, I think this looks good. He's like, yeah, fine. And it looked like it was awful. And so, unfortunately, it was so close to the other, there's no fixing it unless you just and and so I'm in the process of doing that. But
Yeah, it's wild because like I have a ton of tattoos, but like I'm not a fan of getting them.
yeah,
No.
It's one of those things. It's like, I mean, it is what it is. That's kind of how I look at it. It's gonna be a long, God, it's gonna be a long day. That's what I always think before I go. I'm like, man, I'm gonna sit here
But
7
immediately,
hours.
as soon as they're done, I'm like, all right, this
I'm-
looks dope. I'm ready to get another one.
I'm in the chair
No,
halfway through. Never.
No, it's not immediately as it's
wow.
done. No,
And that's what's weird. Like I'll be sitting there, you know, we'll be midway probably through the tattoo, you know, and I'll be like, oh God, you know, like I wish we could just get this over with. To like immediately going, man, what do you think about like this next appointment? What do you think about this?
Yeah.
So now I'll do that to an extent. But yeah, we're still good. I'll do that to an extent, but I still remember because a lot of times with some of the crap I got going on, a long session will kill me. Not that day, not like instant pain. That's fine, but like the week or sometimes 2 weeks after, I'll get like fever,
Oh well.
chills, because some of my other crap that I got going on is like, what the fuck are you doing? And it just shuts everything.
Yeah.
And so some of them, if I am smart and do the things I'm supposed to do leading up to it, it's not that bad. But generally, I don't do that. So it's like this one. That's not the reason it's taking so long to go back. But there's a lot of just on this one. And I think I laid down at 10 o'clock that morning and finally said, I think I'm good. It was about 5:30, and we've got a quarter
Yeah.
of, yeah.
I'm,
Six more to go.
I'm dreading it.
It's tough. Like, you know, it's just the long day. What was sad is at my age now, the thing I worry about the most is laying on the table and how my back is going to react to it.
Mine, yeah.
If I'm like very uncomfortable, like my artist, you know, I've done this probably now for the past couple of years. He's like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "It's the table.
Yeah.
My back is breaking. The tattoo's not even close to what my back is feeling."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "God, I'm
Yeah,
Right there with you.
My tattoo lady does the same thing. She about, you
I'm
okay?
like-
Am I hurting you? That you need to move some? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like I need to. That's why I sit here and I squirm. So my back's been on fire all day. So like sitting there and tattoo, especially like, I don't know. I'm glad it's not in my frame. I got a short arm. So if I had a bad car wreck, long story, 5 surgeries, my arm
Hang
don't
on.
stand the other way.
Hang on, let me put you all in
Yeah,
the frame
yeah.
while I'm trying to fix.
Put me on the spot.
um,
Fuck you, Daniel.
yeah, I'm sorry. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Both of you.
Oh, they can't see. Yeah. Well, you can see one won't straighten all the way. The other one will. But so like when I'm having to do this, she was like doing my shoulder and stuff. Cause like all I have left on this one is my inside arm. But like she'd be like trying to twist and turn. So not only am I trying to fix my little gimp arm so that she can tattoo it right, I'm also like bowed up like a coon dog trying to pass a peach seed. Trying in my back. She's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like trying to hurry, but make it look good. And I'm just doing it. That's what I dread the most because you can only sit in. Which I know every artist's got different chairs, but you can only sit in any seat really for so long that I'm just like, especially like the tattoo chairs and stuff. You know. She's got a really good one now. It's really comfortable, but it's just like you said, the whole is like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, the tattoo's nowhere near to the point. Like when she done my left elbow, she had me laying on my stomach on her table on her tattoo table with my arm out like this. It's fine, but it was, my back, dude. Just laying flat like that was like not it. And when I got up, like I damn near couldn't walk. My back hurt so bad.
Yeah, I look ridiculous. I'll come in with pillows and stuff,
Yeah,
like lay on. And,
hell yeah.
there was a point, when I was getting a lot of work done where I was having to lay flat. And I'm not a small boy either, what I mean? And so I mean, it just my back was breaking so much where I just started tattooing another section of my body just so I could have some relief for a few sessions and kind of continue to get work done. But it's brutal. I mean, those are the worst.
Which I've heard that like back, legs, or stomach, chest are the worst.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, like my ribs, my elbow. So this one didn't. I just fell asleep during this one because I've got so much nerve damage. I didn't feel it. But like my chest, like this right here, stuff I broke my collarbones back and stuff in the wreck. But the surgeries I've had on them, that right there is sensitive and since tingling. My tattoo lady's like, you're never gonna sit through because I might imagine how my arms felt or my hands, which people say hands are bad, hands aren't bad. We're not. I had both of my hands done the same day, actually. She was like, you're never going to sit through this. I'm like, whatever. But, like, I just think of the pain, sometimes, like you said, it's not fun. It's not comfortable. There's some people that I know. She sent me videos of, like, people we know that she's tattooed. And she done this badass tattoo up this dude's head and stuff like that. She sent me a video of the dude's knocked out snoring. And she's on she was tattooing his skull and everything. But she was like, you're never going to sit through, like, your chest, stuff like that. So I've been trying to figure out, if I had the money just to pay somebody to be able to put me to sleep, I'd get everything done all at once and just suffer through the pain of being like this, feeling so tight for like a week. I'm sure my body wouldn't handle it, but
I've watched
you get the point.
Yeah, I've watched some videos where
people people really do it, but they also have a lot more fucking money than I do, Daniel.
Probably.
So, and I don't cheat on my tattoo lady. So she would have to be there to do it all. I couldn't have 5 or 6 people, as cool as that sounds, but I don't know what to do. Now, my buddy did say he used this one stuff because he had like his whole front, like outline, done, you got to do it in sessions. And I think it was like painless tattoo or something. It's like the stuff you put on, you let it sit, and then they have the spray during it. And he said that it worked wonders. He was like, he's like, people say what they want to. He was like, that shit fucking hurts. He was like, if I can find something to ease it up a little bit, he's like, I'm going to. Especially, he said, like, his stomach and stuff. Like, he's like, it's rough.
Have you used any of that?
No.
See,
just
that's kind of
raw dicking it, dude.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of like if you. That's kind of like if you ride up to a biker bar on a Kawasaki, and everybody there's riding a Harley.
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
So
no, that's not the same. Fuck you. If I can take away from the pain.
Hang on. Yeah, okay, I can see how it's not the same. Similar though.
But I get where you're going.
You're not far.
Similar.
How it's looked at.
Yeah, how it's looked. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
You're not far.
Right,
Yeah.
because there's plenty of people that have said, if you're gonna get a tattoo, you get a fucking tattoo. If you got the money to pay for it and you got the balls to do it, you gonna eat it. And so I've never used any of that stuff either. But
I haven't.
But going back to the previous story about the from a full damn 12-hour day, you kind of go, that might would have been nice. But if I'm gonna go through every bit of this, and somebody finds out after the fact that I went through 7 damn 12-hour sessions, and they want to take away from that because I ended up using some spritzy spray, fuck off.
Say what you
Bro,
want.
like,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just haven't like the first time I went to the gas station and bought a damn grape flavored suck stick. It was right after I finally decided, okay, I'm man enough in my securities. I can buy a suck stick.
Yeah, and I got sleeves and my hands done.
And I went to the Superette, and I was going to buy me a suck stick, and I was standing in line, and the person in front of me took so damn long that 2 farmers that was burly and was fixing to go to the field all day, and they was fixing to buy them a sack of Red Man and a pack of Marlboro Reds, was now behind me with their biscuit fixing to go to the field for the day. And I hadn't been doing suck sticks very long, and I was like, and I put my biscuit and stuff down, and I was all prepared. The whole time I was waiting for this damn lady to get her shit out of her purse and pay, I had figured out the perfect suck stick I wanted. I eyeballed it. It was like, oh. Anyway, then these dudes walked up behind me, and she's like, "Is that all you need?" It's like, "Yep, that's it. That's all I need. That's all I need." Where was we at? Because
You gotta be secure in your.
I'll be
stuff,
honest.
and that changed your mind.
yeah,
for a second, I was like, suck stick. What the fuck is a suck stick?
Dish flute.
Yeah.
A douche.
Yeah.
I've been wondering because I didn't know where it was going. I was like, man, this might get sexy. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's getting weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
be.
been vaping. I don't think about the vaping thing on camera. Like, I'm not used to being on camera. It's been a fucking long time. But it's not. You said douche flute. I actually quit these for a long time because I was so paranoid about how it looked smoking it when they first like really started coming around.
I know.
I was like,
It was a
they
big
look
thing.
like
I mean, like if
they
you
look like a
smoked
car part.
Yeah.
You know, they used to these big ass things, and people had cloud competitions. And I saw a cloud
I remember
competition.
those.
I saw a cloud competition video, and I was like, I gotta quit this shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot look that way. And nicotine just brought me back.
He said, I'm already in the horror, and everybody already hates me.
And then
Like, I
over
put
there
this
with-
on top
yeah.
of it. They're like, dude,
I'm over
this
there
dude
with-
has lost his mind.
I'm over there with cherry pineapple, you know,
Yeah.
like
He's got tattoos.
look at my Freddy collection.
And that's so yeah, now I know where I was going, because the thought process behind having, did that finally connect again? Those of you that's actually stuck around for an hour and 14 minutes, now behind Clay's head is what we always see behind the scenes, because the other one timed out, whatever. Anyway, the connection I was making was the spritzy spray or the smeary
Yeah.
rubs that make it not hurt for 12-hour session had, in my opinion, the same stigma that I felt buying a suck stick in front of two
Yeah.
farmers. You know, so,
yeah, it's
so
more
there's
relatable.
there's nothing wrong with it, because I now have suck sticks, but I haven't got to that point yet where I can go, yeah, go ahead and smear some of that on, and I'll just
Man,
sit here and read my book while you do it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. Like, so I am by far not the most tattooed human being on the planet, but I got a lot, and I've had hundreds of hours of ink. Bro, if you can make some of this stuff like where I don't have to feel it and I can kick back and take a nap, bro, slather that on me.
Yep. And see, and that's
Grease me up, sir.
So
Lather me up.
So my internal thoughts
Yeah.
are that. But like a lot of things in life, peer pressure's got me, and I haven't been able to say, "Hey, you mind smearing some of that shit on me before we start?"
What do you
Yeah.
what do you think hurt? Like, where's your top 3 spots that you're like, this
yeah.
makes me not want to get a tattoo again?
Backbone.
My chest was brutal. And I was super fucking fat at the time, like when I got my chest tattooed. You know,
He was
like,
trying to look better.
Hey,
He was like, if
not-
I'm going to be fat, it might as well be covered in tattoos.
hey, not that I'm in peak condition. I mean, I'm fit fat is what I consider it, kind
Fit
of.
fat. I like
But
that.
but like and I don't know if that even had to play a part in it, but I don't know if like having the extra fat around my chest, and stuff like, because it
So
would.
you would think-
I mean, shoulder to shoulder.
You would
All over
think that would help though,
Yeah,
because when I said backbone, that's the worst so far. This right here for me,
yeah.
because there's nothing there. So you would think if you were bigger, it would have more cushion for the needling.
Not the case.
Yeah, I don't know, because usually the more fatty spots on me. I don't know if that's true on the chest. It could have been fat, like I am now, whatever, But so I just remember I went in kind of cocky, I'd had some of my arms done, and I'm like, whatever.
I do it every
whatever,
time. Like, I
whatever.
can take it this time.
It's not a big a deal. I lay down, man. He laid that thing on my sternum, like, because we went shoulder to shoulder, a little bit below my sternum, almost to my neck, and he had all that outline and shading done in the first hour. And dude, I'm profusely sweating on the table, like I look like a hog. I am
yeah.
just sweating like a pig. I'm just wallowing in sweat, going, oh man, I'm in way deep right now.
And you already started, so you got to finish it. You might as well just sit there.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if you leave with it not finished, you're not going to come back.
I mean, this is, he was known for, I traveled to go get tattooed by the guy. And he was in Atlanta. So, it's not just a easy commute back and forth. And so I'm like, man, I cannot tap out after an hour. And so, this ties into the fat part of it. So I'm in I'm in my peak prime fat condition at this point in my life.
And my peak fatness.
Way bigger than now. But and so I'm like, I need food. It just, it's sad. That was the first thing that really came to my mind is I need to eat, because I prepare now. It's crazy because I go in with packed lunches.
See, and I have I haven't done that yet, but I promise you, this last one.
Yeah.
And again, that ain't why I hadn't been back yet. But this last one was pretty damn intense, and didn't eat all day.
That's huge. Yeah.
And there was some smoke breaks, but you have smoke breaks. You don't have, I'm gonna run grab me something to eat real quick break. You know? But I think I might take me a snack next time.
Yeah, I take meals. I take a full lunchbox full of food, and when we take a break, I eat. And I still do it, but I didn't at this point. I ate an entire large pizza. They ordered me from the shop. I was like, I need to eat. He asked me what I wanted, and I was like, pizza. Let me get some pizza. I want some I need carbs, but let me carb load a little bit. And and I sat probably another 4 hours after that pizza. We might have taken a break in between, but I was able to chill out and relax. My adrenaline wasn't going so hard.
See, and I don't have enough on me yet, and I haven't used. I did there for a little bit, but anyway, I haven't got a relationship built up enough yet. I didn't even think the dude, he may want to grab something to eat and take a 45-minute break too.
Yeah.
And sitting here thinking, damn, I wish he'd want to, and not offer because he's thinking that but I bet he'd probably be fine with it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I always tip a little extra.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm paying for it.
Right.
Hey, you want me to sit through it, or we can end it now? And
Yeah.
I wish me and my tattoo artists are great friends. They're totally cool. They'll go take a break with me.
Right.
Because my tattoo artist now, I've been going to the same guy for almost 20 years.
You don't cheat on your tattoo artist. Or
your wife. And so we'll sit back there. And
I've found me one now that's yeah.
But yeah, especially on those tough days, like you were saying, chest was brutal, but I made it through it. I had to do it in 2 sessions, full bright colors, and he layered and layered and layered. But I'll tell you one thing, kind of talking about the numbing and all that stuff, he put lidocaine on me because my whole chest was abrased at this point, and he's just layering color, and it's just miserable. I mean, I've never been that miserable sitting on a tattoo table. But he put lidocaine, and it deadened it. I mean, immediately. And I was like, oh, I felt some relief.
Yeah.
But when he hit fresh skin, boy, my asshole could have shot straight through the table, bro.
Yes.
I mean,
makes me dread it so bad.
I mean, he'd hit fresh skin, it would go to nothing, and then it's just that jarring, and it made it so much worse.
See, and I think so in all of that, I think the thing that reminds me the most, because you were saying by the time you got finished, that's when you were ready for another.
Yeah.
That's what I remember out of every session. I remember going as far as you can go.
Mm.
And if somebody was to walk by and go on your toe, and dude's working on your earlobe, that far away, it's like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. The 12 hours from start to finish, that's fine. I remember the end when I go, I think I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it takes me a few days to get over that.
Yeah. So I was in the chest though.
So I had a horrible experience with my I got my artist that was in Atlanta. So I've been to 2 artists, pretty much did my whole body that I've gotten so far. Out of Huntsville, Greg Ross, Blue Rose Tattoo. He's my ride or die. I've been with him the longest and consistent, real consistent. And then Sean Herman, he's out of Mobile. He did a sleeve on me and a couple other pieces. He did all my leg work. And legs are so god awful. Like my calf, my calf was really brutal.
Yeah, I heard the calves. The calves and the thighs, I heard are...
One.
See, now that's what my wife wants to get next, is a thigh.
So I did my leg sleeve from knee, right below my knee down. And we were doing marathon sessions because I was driving 4 hours one way to get tattooed for the day. I pay for it. I just pay for an entire day, be done with it. So I'm like, I'm sitting open to close.
Yeah, that's the way this one was on my back. That's why it was from...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I did that when I was younger. Those sessions, they were brutal, but I made it through them. Now
I did this last year.
Yeah, going towards almost 40, I'm like, hey, you know what? It's time for me to get a thigh length Freddy Krueger. This is going to be fun. I can't wait. So I drive down and we do a major chunk of my thigh. I mean, major. And like the last hour, I'm barely making it. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing stars.
Yes.
And so luckily Sean has got he has his own private studio. So he was at a normal studio when I met him. And so then he started taking private clients. And I'd been with him for all these years, like between him and Greg. And so he'd bring me in. Like he'd get me in early, if there was a cancellation, whatever. So I was going to this private studio. He had snacks and water, like he had anything you could possibly... the most attentive tattoo artist on the planet. So his snacks were keeping me going. It's granola bars and stuff like that. But it was a lifesaver. But when I left that place, I was shaking. Like, if you imagine somebody that had just smoked a big just rock of crack and they're shaking profuse, shaking profuse, I was doing that. And I couldn't control it.
Whole body in shock.
My body temperature plummeted.
Yep.
And so I'm in Mobile going to drive home because I was driving 4 hours tattoo till 8 and then driving back home. And brutal days, the worst. And so
and why do we do it?
I had no idea.
Obsessed with it.
I went, sorry, real quick sidetrack. I went so many years with saying I would never get a tattoo because I could never figure out what I'd want to put on me that couldn't go away. Okay, well, after the first fuck up of something that I put on me, I was like, well, you know what? It's not that bad. I'll just cover it up. So, but after that, now I'm like, that's why I said a minute ago, if it wasn't for the constraints of what I do, it may be way more than what it is now.
Yeah.
Because it's, for some reason, even though you don't understand 100% why you do it, when you walk away, it's kind of like a, fuck, I did it.
Yeah. Well,
or something. I don't know what it is, but
what's crazy, I'd say I don't know why I do it. I know why I started it. So, like, it kind of ties in with the whole fat thing that I talk about. So, before I started getting the tattoos, I was pierced up, and I wasn't allowed to get piercings when I was younger, and my mother was fucking around, and she was not serious. She said, well, if you do it yourself, you can have it. I said, okay. Challenge accepted. And I come out with this big ring. I took an earring, just a normal studded earring, and popped it through my nose. And I went in the living room. I was like, I got a nose ring now. And she was like, oh no. She knew immediately how much she messed up because I was on a roll. I started putting needles through everything. Like, it was terrible. I can't believe I did it. You know what I mean? And so she finally took me to get my first piercing. Well, I was obsessed with piercings all through high school, and I was a big teenager, so I could sign for myself when I got about 15. Was when I started signing for myself, and what could never happen now. So cut to when I'm in my 20s, I started getting tattoos, and I was like, man, I already look kind of crazy, like I already look a little nuts. So I need to pick one or the other, and so took all the piercings out at once and just went head over heel because I started losing weight the year that I started getting tattooed. So I got my first tattoo when I first signed up for the gym.
Yeah.
And so I hated the way I look. I'm still not a fan. You know, I'll look in the mirror and be like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You know, like, and so I just got obsessed with seeing myself in a new way. Mm-hmm. You know, I started seeing all the ink on me and like, you know.
Then you were fat too, so it makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
You know, it's like the chest tattoo. You know, going back to that day, I remember like I was in misery, but I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not paying attention to my gut right now. Yeah. It's pretty nice. You know, and it kind of started from there, and I love the artistry, and I got bands and horror stuff all over me, you know, and I got crazy stuff, which I'm sure my wife is ashamed of me most of the time. But it's just been an obsession ever since. But as you do get older, like me and my artist, you know, he's only a couple of years older than me, so maybe 3. So we're in our 40s now, you know, and we'll sit there, and he's decked out, and we're getting tattooed, and we're both just talking about how much this sucks, don't it? Like, why do we do this to ourselves still? Because I thought I'd be done. I've had a body plan almost the entire time. Like, I haven't really changed what I wanted to get, anything. And sometimes I'm like, is that immature? Or, you know, like, or I decided what I wanted to do, and I was like 22 and still doing, you know, still listening to the same shit, you know, and still into the same stuff. And here, you know, I'm getting Exorcist tattooed on me, you know, like, you know, whatever the case, Dimebag Daryl on my back, you know. And I don't know, but it's fun. I'm like, why not? You know, I'm in a career where I luckily can do it. I was scared to death to ever do sleeves until I got in a job where they're like, bro, you know.
It's fine.
Yeah. Like, you know, you had people high up in the company that have sleeves and, you know, piercings and stuff. And I'm like, I'm doing it. This is what I want. I have half sleeves. This looks stupid.
Yep.
It looks unfinished, you know, like it just drove me crazy.
Yeah, and see, and that's honestly, you know, that's now that I've crossed over and have started doing detats. So now both arms have something from shoulder to elbow. It kind of needs something else, and I've talked to my dude about when we get this one finished, doing something. But again, I'm still in the constraints of it needs something else.
Yeah.
But I can't really, unless I'm going to start wearing something like I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
All the time. It can't really. It don't need to go past. You know, so. But if given the opportunity, and I never thought I'd be there, but even though I'm thinking about taking sack lunches and shit because you're over 40 and it kills you for the next week after you do it.
Yeah.
I'm still going, you know, if given the opportunity, I got some ideas now.
Yeah.
You know, so I went all those years thinking, I don't know what I want to put on me that I would be okay with. And now that I know, you know, if you fuck up, you can just redo it again and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I got folders of stuff. Like, I'll print stuff off and tape it on me, you know, piece stuff together, you know, like,
see how it looks.
I get crazy with it. I was like, what the, why are you like, when are you going to be done?
Once you start it, you can't finish. It's like
it always feels unfinished.
Like, you know how it is, especially like when you get full sleeves and stuff like that. Like, to me, like, for one, like, I don't feel like I have sleeves. Like, you know, like, I forget I have tattoos until I accidentally see them or pay attention, or someone's like, oh, I like your tattoos. I'm like, oh, shit, yeah. But, like, I tell my wife all the time, I'll be like, do I look tatted? Like, does it look like I, like, because when I see people, like, when you walked in, I'm like, damn, dude's got some badass sleeves. He's got, you know, he's got good sleeves. Like, I'm like, do you think people look at me? I'm like, damn, he's got sleeves, you know? She was like, I mean, yeah, you got a bunch of fucking tattoos. But, so you know how it is having a bunch of damn tattoos. People are always like, oh, I've been thinking about getting a scorpion, my first tattoo, Does it hurt, do you like them? Like, yeah, I like them and stuff, but don't start, because once you start, you can't finish. Do they hurt? I'm like, yeah, like a motherfucker.
And I never understood that. Somebody had said that once before about, if you ever figure out what you want to get and you get something, you won't be done. And it never, it didn't compute until after I got my first one. My wife finally, the first one I ever got, she talked me into getting matching tattoos. And I thought, okay, it's fine. And it's our anniversary in Roman numerals up here on the collarbone. Well, after I got that one, even though it was just a little small dinky, I was like, hi.
Yeah.
And so then it's been nonstop after that, provided it fits within what I got to do and financial constraints of this wonderful economy that we're in. You have to, but I could have been tatted from eyebrow to toenail for what has been spent in here.
Yeah.
Just priorities, I guess, whatever. But
yeah, I can't quit getting them, man. They're addicting. God.
Yeah, and I never,
especially like when you have a theme, like when you have like my left arm, like I first started out like everybody else. I'm not gonna get nothing unless it means something, and I did. I got ones that I had picked out and I liked, because when I was in the Marine Corps, we were the only branch that had tattoo policies. Of course, right after I get out, you can have sleeves. But so that made me want them even more. So when I got out, I was kind of like, I got some that I wanted that meant something to me, and then it was just like, okay, my arm's almost done. My tattoo about, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care. Just if you want to do it, you got something you want to do. So then it started the whole American traditional theme, and then it's like, now that I got a theme that I like, and because it's it's so much broad of genre that you can do, and I'm like, now I want the rest of my body done. So what do you want to do? I'm like, if it's neo-traditional American, whatever. I mean, it's like, once you get into, when people ask, what is that thing? I'm like, at first everyone starts out, I'm just going to get, that I've really been wanting this. I really like this, like Marilyn Manson, whatever, and then it's like, okay, well, I want something to go with this. It's like buying a puppy. You're like, hell, he's got to have a friend. It's like having one kid. Well, they need somebody to play with, Yeah. It's like, why didn't they get this? And then I'm just like, at this point, I just text my tattoo lady. I need an appointment. She books me. And most of the time when I get there, she's like, all right, well, I got this. This can go here, this can go that, or both these can go here. Which one you want to do? I'm like, if I had enough money, I'd do them all. I don't care. Pick one, let's do it. I just don't even care. Like, she just, same theme? Yep. Yeah.
And
like, okay.
And I haven't got to that. Up until,
I just want to be tatted.
Up until this one that I'm working on now, there wasn't like, this one's family, this one's fancies, this one was kind of how the whole mindset of fancies being tired and the pain and the struggles and the blah, 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 whatever. That's how this one started. So nothing kind of flowed. But now with this one that's covering everything else up, now unfortunately it kind of has the ability that it can branch out and go other places. And although I was excited that it was going to fix my back and be something that I wanted, at the same time, while he was showing me what we were going to do, he gave me options because we'd worked together, and he's like, so I'm thinking this, or this, and and this is what I'm going to go with. This works. And at the same exact moment that I was excited that fucking worked, I went, damn, that's expandable.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
that's where it starts.
I started looking at bare skin. I'm like, man, I got to cover that up. You look terrible.
Oh yeah.
and it's probably some kind of body dysmorphia with me.
Yeah. I was saying, so I was. This time last year I started losing. I was, for my build. I was 240 pounds. Like, when you had to sit sideways. in the chair, you know, to tie your
Oh,
shoes.
the tying the
because
shoes
you
is a
couldn't
nightmare.
Yeah, so I was like, you know, I'd run
Nightmare.
around, chase my kids around the couch, get winded one time, and I'm like, all right, I'm a fat ass, I gotta lose weight. But that's when I started,
Congrats, that's
like
awesome.
like 6 months after I got out of the Marine Corps, that's when I started gaining weight. You know, well, no, take it back. When I got my wife pregnant, so about 2 months after I got out of the Marine Corps, as sympathy weight, man, and it was downhill from there, just bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until the point I was like, that's it. But I was getting that's what really pushed the whole tattoo thing. Cause I'm like, well, if I'm gonna be fat, because I kept telling myself, my grandfather's a bigger guy, my dad's. I mean, we're not like fat, but you know, built like a brick shit house. Not more so me. And I think I took after a little bit more. But, you know, I mean, like, broad shoulders, broad hips. You know, I'm like, maybe I'm not meant to be little. So I accepted being fat. And so I was like, if I'm going to be fat, I'm going to cover myself in tattoos. I'm not going to be fat and ugly and tattoo-less, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So that helped it. But now
there is a little bit of a... I'll be honest, when I got
it
my...
boosts your confidence, you know?
It does a little bit.
Well, big dick energy, you know what I mean?
Like when we went to the beach after I first got... So I had the one on the collarbone, I had one on the shoulder, and even though I was a fat ass, you kind of went, you know what? It's okay. I'm a cool fat ass. I got a tattoo.
Yeah.
And even though I don't necessarily think that they're cool anymore, I mean, it's just it is what it is.
They're cool, Daniel.
They are, but you know, once you get that first one, the mentality and the thought process behind them, it completely goes. Like, I work with people that still have the mindset of, oh,
tattoos. That's bad.
What's that?
Thug.
You know, and there's some of them that go, oh, did that? You know,
did it hurt?
You know, and they want to know about it, and they're not put off by it. They're just super inquisitive, and then they're never going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And there's other people who will never have one, have never thought about having one, but is going to let you know that it's not right to have them type mentality. Mm-hmm. And even if they don't come right out and say it, you know, there's always, you know, you could have done this if you hadn't spent money on you know, whatever. You could spend money on whatever. You know, it is what it is. But once you get that first one, the whole thought process,
especially when you're doing it because you're fat. But now my my problem is I quit going to the gym and stuff. I've been trying to go back every day. I started actually going back. My new job messed me up. Now that I'm by myself, not training anymore, I'm on that schedule, so I can start going back. But I was getting into shape. So now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm getting in enough fit shape that tattoos, if I did get covered, got really dark.
Hold please, that was a good song.
Hold please, I'll keep talking. So anyways, back to where we were. Yeah, I get your headphones. But yeah, so now that, like I said, now that I'm back to semi skinnier, you know, I'm like, now I definitely want the rest of my body done. But I'm on the no face deal. If I made a bunch of money and I could pull it off, I think you got to be a special kind of person to have face tattoos, let alone pull them off. If you do, good for you. I wish I could, you know, if I had enough money and job profession where it would be okay. Sure, why not?
I think you got to be at a certain point before you can pull that off and it'd be okay. Like,
but like my throat. Oh yeah, I want it done.
Man, that is one thing. So I had to make a deal with my wife when I started getting sleeved. She did not want me to. 'Cause she's like, look, like, at some point, like, you're going to have to be in public with me. And, you know, or like one day we're going to have kids and you're going to have to be in front of other parents and go to PTA meetings and whatever.
My favorite.
And so, like, I don't want you to look crazy, you know, like, you're not getting normal shit tattooed on you. Like, you're getting monsters and band stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
nobody's gonna let their kid have a spend the night party with their child.
And so I kind of wore her down, you know. Once I started, I think she won't tell me, but I think she was kind of like, okay, it looks a little better than I thought. Like, it's covering up some of that bullshit I've been married to for, you know, past however long. And so I started getting sleeves, and she said, okay, you got to promise me that you will not touch your neck or your face or your hands. And so I got away with the only one I got on my hand. It's a small one. It's my wedding ring. I genuinely wanted to do it. I did not. It wasn't just for an excuse to get a hand tattoo. That's what I get accused of. But
That's what I thought, to be honest.
But I do want a throat tattoo. I won't ever do it. You know, I need a fucking chin lift before I get it anyway. It'd be the fucking front, and the front would just be staring directly at you because of this right here.
See, that's why there's this.
I know if I didn't have facial hair.
Yeah, that's like another thing about if I want my throat done or not, because I'd like to. You see my dad. Everybody has. If you watch it. You know, he's got a big beard, so I'm like, yeah, I want that. Well, if I'm gonna do that, I'm not gonna put myself through the pain of get my. But I'm like, once I know when I get done with everything else, so obviously like, I'm not gonna do my feet and my toes and inside of my ear. Like, you know, I'm being normal to an extent, but like I know once I get done with my legs, chest, back, that I'm gonna be like, I could do my throat. There is bare skin.
I mean, there's that.
But I just no face.
Like if something ever happened, like I became incapacitated and gained all my weight back, my worst nightmare would be like a bullfrog with some kind of logo, tattooed on the front of his throat. You know, like that would be terrible.
Yep.
I think it would look so.
Like Betty
Okay,
Blow.
so we both are, you more so than me, but so I was always worried about if you got one and you grew with it stretch or whatever. So I don't know what it does if you get one and grow, but I know what it does when you get one and shrink, and it actually wasn't too bad. So.
Yeah, it wasn't bad on me, and I was a whopper, man. And but I have seen the opposite of that. So I worked with a girl years ago at Blockbuster. You know, we talked about this last place we seen each other. This is ages ago, and this is towards the dying end. But she worked with me, and she had this. I mean, it was indecipherable of what it was on her arm. You could tell it was something tribal, And she was a big old gal, No disrespect to big old gals, but she was. And so we were talking about tattoos. I'd just recently gotten a couple, and so we're talking about tattoos. And that damn thing used to wrap completely around her arm. And it looked like a Band-Aid almost, like. So yeah, it used to be really tiny, and like, I mean, no offense to her for gaining the weight, but it was just like, whoa, I never seen, cause I was bigger than her. I mean, I could have, not much, but I was. And, but it looked like a larger Band-Aid. And I was like, man, this used to go around your arm. And so, I kind of worried. I was like,
it looks like an actual Band-Aid now. This is one of the little ones.
Poor girl. Hopefully she had that thing lasered off. It looked terrible, but
see, I was actually worried I was going to have to laser some of this on my back to be able to cover it, because it was. Luckily, we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I've been lucky to not regret anything. Yeah. It's crazy. There's some I probably should. But
well, see, and here's my thing. I think even as stupid as it is, like I went with my wife to Blue Rose one time, and she got one. It was spur of the moment. We were kid free, out on a date. We went to Baumhauer's, and she's like, "Let's see if Blue Rose is open." And we went, and she got something. And the dude that was tatting her, you may know, had some kind of a pig or something right here on his knee, and he said he got that just to piss his mom off at one point in time. So. But even as stupid as that was, it was a kick-ass looking pig. It served its purpose. It was, you knew that it was there as a satire or something, but my fear has always been to get something that you think is going to just be, and then it just, and that's what happened back here. I was so disappointed. And again, nothing on anybody that did it. It was just my thought process of what I thought was going to look okay. It turned out to be shit. So I regretted that one.
Well, so I'm glad.
Like so bad that the one that I initially started with in the middle that I super duper liked, I've got to cover that one to fix my screw up. So it's just.
So I'm glad I my tattoo layout. You was talking about you'd wish somebody had said, "Hey, that's not gonna look good without." My tattoo, she'll straight. Even the people she don't know, She'd tell people, I'm not doing this. She said, not that like I don't want to do it. She was like, but if it doesn't look good or go good with something, she was like, I don't want that advertised as my work. Like,
Right.
like damn,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
you said, like, damn, I wish somebody, you know, 'cause people are looking, they're like, yeah, okay, cool tattoos, man.
Well, and
You
I've
know?
I've told anybody and everybody that's ever needled me. Here's what I'm thinking. You do you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I'm never going to be the one that says, maybe she's
Can we tweak this?
yeah,
and
just a little bit.
make
You
his
know,
eyes
I want
cross-eyed?
anybody that's nobody. I don't care what profession you're in. If somebody's standing over you, going, you're not going to perform at your best. So I've always told anybody that's done anything on me, this is what I'm thinking. You do you. You know, even if you give me a proof and you say this is what I'm thinking, I still, in my mind, am giving you full authority to tweak it as you go. Just make it look okay. You know, and so yes, the last one that I got that did the final fuck up on this one, I didn't get any of that, and I wish I had. But again, that's I'm not blaming him. That's it's on me.
He's just trying to make $1.
Yep. But more dollars would have went a lot further if he just said it's gonna look like shit. Now he may have thought it looked fine.
Yeah, very true.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my tattoo lady, she'll tell you, she'll be like, that looks like shit.
Yeah,
I'm
mine
not
will
doing-
too,
I'm not
yeah.
doing it. But what? Like, there's been a couple, I'm like, oh, yes, she's going. And I show them, like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. She knows I never hardly send her anything. And I know if I do text her something, she don't text me back, it's a no-go. But, and I'll sit and she'll be like, no. What? So that was like shit. That's not. I'm not doing that. And I might have been kind of bummed out a couple times. But and then like when she did so, like, or I'm not. I don't want to do it like that. Like I think this would look better if it was like this. And I'm just same. I'm just like okay. And that's why I like her so much. She's all about the. Do you trust me? Yeah. So I can. You trust me to just go?
Well-
Yeah, absolutely. And she's great with that. So when I'm just like, but I'm like him. She'll show me things, and she hates it. It drives her crazy. She tells me, she'll be okay. Well, taking a piss. She'll be like, "Oh, do you like this?" And I'm like, "I mean, yeah, it looks fine. Like, just you do you. Like, just I know you're gonna make it look good." She was like, "Yeah, I know, but I want you
see
to
it.
like." I'm like, I trust you. Go like,
And the dude I have now, I have that now. Some of the, one, his vision for what I got going now, and what I've seen so far, even though it's only a little quarter, his vision and what's on there is, yeah, it's gonna work. So that in combination with really studying and looking and searching and I'll be honest, I stalked some of your people. Anytime that you would get a tattoo, I'd go in and look, and I'd try to figure out whose style matched what was in my brain enough that I could say, this is what I'm thinking, and it come out the way I want it. This dude is so now I've found my dude, whatever it may be. So
Yeah, once you get that kind of relationship with an artist, like you're able to do so much more. Because I'll send him, I'll send him some snapshots. Like, that's what I got in mind. This is kind of what I'm thinking. Here's a couple of just reference pics.
right.
And he'll run with it. I like part of the rush for me is being surprised.
So I do like
Like-
the surprise. So this is
No.
this is the first dude that I've had that me and him had a back and forth, and we come to some type of agreement of what we think it's going to look like. Even the one that I super duper liked on my back, I sent to the dude well in advance, and I know for a fact he didn't look at the son of a bitch until I got there that day.
Oh yeah.
And even though it turned out really well, I still would have loved to have been able to have that back and forth like I did with this dude, to be able to go, just a smidge, But I didn't even really have to do that with this guy. We had like an hour and a half long FaceTime about what I wanted, what I thought, what I was, and then when he presented me 3 options, it was, so he got it. And so that won me over, because in the past, I've never had somebody that put forth the effort to weeks before I got there do what me and you talked about and try to figure out what's going to look good on me, because you're going to and you're done. If you want your reputation to be what it is, you're going to put some effort and pay attention. But when it's all said and done, you're going to and go and you're done. It's going to be on me forever. And so I've always wanted somebody that had just a smidge more, let me work on this for you kind of vibe, and so I got that with this dude. So
yeah, it makes such a huge difference, because he'll stencil me. I'll go check out in the mirror, look at every angle, flex calf or something to see if it looks awkward.
Right.
We go. I mean, we spend a little bit of time adjusting. Because he. If it's like original art piece, a lot of my stuff, I got a lot of portraits and stuff that, he'll have it ready to go, and I get there, he'll slap it on me, and I'll watch him really see it for the first time. But if it's like an original art piece, he'll send it to me in advance. Hey, what do you think? Here's your references.
And you've got some of that freedom when you get somebody that knows you too, because
definitely.
Like even with this guy now, in the future, I'm sure it would be different because we're established now. But he didn't want to show me anything until that day, because if he sent me something, then I'm gonna go let somebody else try to do it.
Yeah.
And so I get that.
Yeah, there is that. You're right about that.
But once you get that relationship established, then you can have back and forths, and he can send you something and you go, that looks fucking awesome, except for I was really thinking over here to look like whatever, and you can do that, because I think they know just as well as, you want it to look the way you want. I want you to still be able to do you, but let's tweak it just a smidge.
And I got a lot of, with him, like, we built a good relationship too, because I have respect for their time.
Yeah.
So, if I'm 10 minutes late, I'm letting him know in advance. Hey, man, I'm running a little behind. I got caught in traffic. Whatever the case, like, I didn't get off work in time. I'm gonna be about 10 minutes late. 10 minutes, So just having that respect, like, I'm not going to show up an hour late and be like, oh, what? It's just a tattoo appointment. No, this is an appointment with a professional. Take it serious, Come in, be prepared, don't argue, listen to what they got to say.
Right.
So
bring a snack.
Yeah, be prepared.
I might have to try that. I've never done the snack deal.
I haven't either, but
I've done the whole, like, I'll eat something, make sure I eat something before, but
yeah, water and
I
food.
haven't even done that.
Hydration and food.
I have entered issues. So
that could be bad.
So
Menopause.
so I've always went to every appointment, because they've always been early mornings for the most time. Because anyway, so I've always went to every appointment on an empty stomach, because I do not want to get something on the way to tide me over, or make sure I'm well nourished, and then be right in the middle of a and go, oh, I got to go.
Yeah, just crowning on the table.
Yeah.
It's
You can feel
it's
it
like, oh
touching the
boy.
backside.
So
You may have to carry me in there.
So hindsight, I guess, short sessions, that would probably be okay. But going into a longer session, maybe eat something and take some Imodiums to keep it all in or something, because I know the 6 more I got is gonna be. I'm gonna take a snack.
Yeah.
Now that you brought it up, I'm gonna take a snack.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Take a break and get a munch, man. It helps a lot.
So, with all of that being said, one of our other topics that we generally bring up that has been one of the more
Popular.
What was that word?
Trend.
Virality, that offered virality, was the conspiracy theory topics. So, with that being said, let me smash this cute little button for the conspiracy theory intro, and we'll hit that for a minute. So, conspiracy theories. We've had ours. You've had yours. We've discussed back and forth many different topics. So one of our going forward segments with everybody that we have is to touch just a smidge. We can go in depth as you'd like. Our time is your time. What would you think would be your most plausible conspiracy theory of all the things that you know?
There's some good ones out there.
And there's some stupid ones out there I'm learning
There
too.
is very, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one of my favorites though is lizard people, man.
Lizard people.
Yeah. People in disguise, like politicians and
like a like skinwalker type thing.
yeah.
Right deal.
Wearing disguises, like the lizard.
Yeah, like alien lizard. I know. Yeah.
I'm a little confused, but I'm trying to follow.
So it's like
I'm trying to track.
There's been, which he might can explain it better than me, but like, there's been like you see the clips of like Joe Biden wearing a mask.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So it's been like with stuff like that, but it's been stuff that's pretty believable. They show where like you see like the people's eyes changing and stuff like they have slit in their eyes and then their pupils change and then like the tongues or the ears or fingers and stuff. Yeah.
So I've seen some of that. Yeah.
What was you gonna say? I didn't mean to...
It's a fascinating. Not even I necessarily believe it, but it would explain so much.
Yeah.
These soulless lizard people that are in the government. It makes sense. They want death and destruction.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the government that I feel needs to be.
The government's fascinating to me.
There's so many different ways that you can
put lizard people on top of it. And it's...
I've never merged the two actually until tonight.
It would just, like I said, not even I necessarily believe it. I think if there was any that I hope would be true, it'd be Bigfoot. I would love it if Bigfoot was real, and I want to believe. Boy, do I want to believe.
So, you need to, like I told Eric the other night. If you're ever bored and sitting on the shitter and you need something else to do, go back and watch. I think it was episode
3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, 2 or 3 or 4. Just go watch all of them. It's fine. So we had it was just me and him one night, and I let him do his thing. I was super duper busy at work, didn't have time to super duper prepare. He said he had it covered. I was like, cool, we just gonna wing it. And then we got here, and he's like, we're gonna talk about Bigfoot. I was like, damn it. Because that was our first little dabble into some type of a conspiracy or a Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot type thing, and I had no knowledge that that's where we were going until right as we was fixing to hit record. And I said, "What are we doing?" He's like, "I'm gonna talk about Bigfoot." I was like, damn it! But about halfway through, I realized that I was sitting in my first official Dr. Phil moment on Fancy's Unfiltered podcast, because he feels as though he had almost could reach out and pet him experience.
Oh, shit. I gotta hear it.
Back in the day.
Can you tell it? Is it gonna be?
No.
Yeah,
Go
ahead.
So it ties into the me being paranoid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now that it might be a little better story now that we got everything looking a little better. But yeah, dude, it was rough, dude. Trial and error. But I was real paranoid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Walking in the woods at dark, So back in the old hunting club, used to be in Hamilton County, which is northwest Alabama area or west Alabama. We had a campsite and stuff, and it had a road that went back behind the camp. And most of the spots, it was 1,600 acres or something like that. It was a big place. So we'd drive down the roads, go to the old dirt roads, play. But they had these 3 fields that just you pull in the camp, keep driving. It goes back. One we stopped using it, use it for a dump pit, dig a big hole, dump the carcasses, cover it up, blah blah blah. Go 2 more. One's way back there. It's like a mile. I mean, this is in the middle of nowhere. It's out back in the middle of the woods. Paranoid and stuff. Well, I mean, like when you're hunting and stuff, I don't know if you've ever done that, whatever, but like you can hear, like, I mean, when it's dead quiet out there, you hear everything, and you can tell. Like I've hunted enough, like you can tell when you hear squirrels and stuff running around. You can tell by what size of stuff, what's walking through the woods. Okay, that's a deer, that's a squirrel, whatever. I heard saying the way it was a green field, maybe 200, 250 yards long, probably about 50 yards wide, and the left side was more of hardwoods or pines, pines and stuff, and it was kind of flat. But to the right, it was kind of a bit sloped off, went kind of a big draw, type of deal, kind of a little bowl. So it kind of echoes back through, and sound travels as quiet as it was. I could have heard a field mouse fart 2 hours away. And I start hearing something walking through the woods it's crashing. Like I've heard, bucks fight, deer running from stuff, but this is like whatever that is big, and it's snapping stuff. Like you hear it, like just breaking limbs off stuff, so I'm like, and I'm at the painting picture. I'm like 12, hunting by myself, scared shitless, no phone service. I don't even know if I had a phone. Yeah, I did. And then and the pines or the trees and stuff that were on the right hand side, they're on the edge of the field. They probably weren't 15, 20 foot tall, because they'd been, clear cutted a few years back. They'd managed in the forest and stuff. So I knew, about judgment height. Obviously the farther things are, even though they're big, you can still tell they're big when they're far away. Well, I shoot a doe and stuff. It runs off, blah, blah, blah. I heard that sound. I heard it come all the way up and all the way up to the edge of the field. And I'm like I'm ready, like guns out the window. Like I've got a plan. If it pops out, I'm fixing to show everybody Bigfoot's real. Like I was in my head. I was going to go out in the blades of glory. If it was going to kill me, like they was going to at least find his body there or know where to find him. Shoot the doe. It goes, here it comes the field, and I hear it go, but it's a lot quieter leaving. And then quiet, never hear it again. It's like it just vanished all of a sudden. Doe comes out, shoot it, blah, 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 runs off. Dark sets in. I text my stepdad, hey, I shot a doe, blah, 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 come get me. I'm trying to get him there before dark sets in. I'll sit till dark. I'll be there after dark. Fuck. Sitting there waiting. Dark sets in. I hear it again. I'm like, I hear it get closer and closer and closer. But this time, it's a lot damn closer up to the field. It's about halfway. So we're talking 100 yards. That's nothing. And it's dark, though. But I hear it walk right up to the edge of the field. And I hear limbs snap me right there at the edge of the field. And I'm like, holy shit. This is like a chill bumps, man. I'm telling you, I can't make this shit up. And I had this bright-ass flashlight my stepdad gave me. And I had the gun out the window. I knew about the vicinity. Like, I was ready. Light comes on. We're getting in a gunfight type of deal with Bigfoot. I'm ready to go. I pop my light, and all I see, it's far enough to where like my light still lights it up, but it's at night. If a deer had been out there too in the middle of the field, I could see its eyes and maybe that line of its body. But in the woods, it's dark right there on the edge of the woods, so I couldn't really make out anything other than a big set of eyes, like a little over halfway up those trees. I mean, around halfway. I mean, we're talking like 8 to 10 feet up the trees, and I can see that its eyes this bigger. I mean, obviously, they're not perfectly round, whatever, but eyes, that big round. From 100 yards to say that's a set of eyes. Those are 15, 20 foot tall trees, and it's halfway. It's 8, 10 feet up the trees, and it just it's like trying to figure out, looking straight at the shooting house, and I'm just like. Terrified, dude. Like you said, my asshole could have. You couldn't have drove a nail in my ass, dude. It was so tight, and then walked away. And until I brought it up on the podcast, I didn't tell a single soul about it. And to this day, I still believe that it was Bigfoot. Not call me crazy, but I'm like you. I wish so bad that because when it does, I promise you're gonna know it. If you haven't heard about it, I'm gonna fucking tell you. I told you, no good lying son of a bitch. I told you it was real.
There was somebody on the comments on that TikTok that said their conspiracy theory was that in real life Bigfoot was blurry.
Blurry, yeah. It's just
because everything that you ever see he's blurry.
Yeah, I want it to be true.
I had an experience with a guy on one of the Bigfoot shows.
Yeah.
What is it? Finding Bigfoot?
Yeah. Oh, see, I told you.
And like So I met this guy. I had a podcast way back, and always trying to find guests and material, and whoever to bring on, and the wilder somebody was, the better, always.
Yep.
And so I meet this guy at the gym. I can't even remember how we started talking about it. I'm just lifting and stuff, and he starts talking to me about Bigfoot in the gym. I'm like, okay, this is interesting, and he was on Finding Bigfoot, and he started going on and on. I said, man, I've got to record with you. Like, I need you to come to my home. I got a studio set up. Let's record. So he's like, yeah, let's do it. So my wife hated my podcast for the most part. She thought we were rude, but she wanted to sit in. She was like, I got to hear this. So it's just me and my co-host, my best friend, I should say, and my wife and him. And for the first hour, dude, I could have wore a I believe in Bigfoot shirt for the first hour. We were drilling him with questions, like, okay, so modern technology, how is there no clear footage really of like proving Bigfoot? He goes on and on about, their master of disguise out in the woods. They know how to position their body to blend it. Whatever. Or you're so scared you're shaking when you're trying to take the picture. That was one of the big ones. So he had answers for everything, and we're like, whatever. But this is pretty believable. I mean, he believed in what he was saying. He brought audio recordings. He had pictures that didn't look like, I couldn't tell.
Right.
But and the audio recordings were howling and stuff in the woods. It's like, okay.
Something you've never heard before, so
Yeah.
it's believable.
Well, then the conversation like really shifts, and all of a sudden I go from being intrigued and everything to like looking at him like a homeless man that's shitting in his hand. Then he starts talking about like he can find them every time. He knows how to find this family of them. It's like two children and a mom and the dad, and they're speaking Native American, which I know that's kind of part of the folklore around Native American history and stuff. But like he starts going on and on. I'm like, he started just drifting real far out. Like he's had dozens and dozens of Bigfoot experiences, and he would take people out and they'd see him up on the hill, and they had him chasing them. And it's like, so every single time you go out, right where to go and see this family of Bigfoot in Alabama.
Would it be big feet?
Yeah, I guess it'd be big feet. Yeah. But
Fair enough.
I'm not saying it's not possible, but like, and that's being super vague around, not trying to draw it out. But, and I felt so defeated at the end of it. I'm like, I feel like he believes in what he says, but man, that's fucking.
Yeah, like he made it a little too far-fetched to be true.
Yeah.
Like every time you're gonna go, you see this family. Well, see, like I don't think they're even around. Like, well, obviously, like I had that, but I don't think it's a big of a deal here. I mean, they got to travel. They don't take them long to get nowhere, But like, I think it's more out west, like big forest,
Pacific
stuff.
Northwest.
Yes, I mean stuff like that. Because I even seen the thing, we're talking about like technology and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, you got to think if it's true, which I wish that before I pass on this earth, it would be, 100%.
I wish.
Yeah, but I mean, if it is, they've mastered this, of hiding really well. And there's been some stuff I say, I'm like, that at some point I'm like, someone somewhere saw something that was very, that this didn't just, as long as it's stuck around and been a thing, it's not, I mean, that's why I kind of hang on to it. I'm like, it's not, something you would just make up. It's got to be real type of deal. But I've seen the things talking about like hiding, and you couldn't get them on pictures and stuff like that they're hiding in treetops. But that, like, kind of like monkeys, but it's like, but they're in those big ass trees, those huge redwoods and stuff. I mean, but like, what if that's a thing? You could walk through. I promise you, the last thing I'm doing when I'm walking through the middle of the woods in the middle of fucking nowhere is looking up. I'm looking what's down and around me. So if you think about it, they're like, oh shit, I can go up the tree real quick.
Probably the most interesting.
Imagine how they would go up, feet and hands. You know, they're just.
I didn't know if you was climbing a tree or if you was.
It's just that big, dog. Not really.
Like the interdimensional, that they're interdimensional beings is a fascinating one to me.
Yeah. Because I think.
I mean, scrubbing your dick on one of a redwood is fascinating too. But
yeah,
just see like,
hey, I bet. Hey,
I warned
be
you.
raw.
I warned
Yeah,
you.
hey, unfiltered. I don't care. Well, but I mean, dude, it's just like, well, and like I'm fascinated with it too because I'm like, okay, if it is real, like, how smart are these motherfuckers? I mean, you got to think they stay hidden all this long. Say one day, before we pack that it is, and it's true. They, someone accidentally shoots one at that. Go to track it or something like, oh shit, But like, think of how. I mean, people say like the closest thing to humans as far as animal wise, intelligence wise, stuff like that. Like the monkeys, they do all that stuff. But I mean, you got to think if Bigfoot's a thing, really. How smart and how human-like are they that they've done that for that long? That's what I stay fascinated with stuff like that about.
If you're adapted to deep woods like that, like human beings do not typically go out into those kind of surroundings.
There's
It's real easy to know when somebody's coming. Their ears.
Oh yeah, I
I want them.
There's places to this day on the face of this earth. That there's still cavemen. There's still people. There is tribes and stuff living out, and you don't go near them, they kill you. And but it's like, so if that's possible, and you don't, and like, there's still some that's being discovered. Like, if human beings can do that, who obviously aren't big enough to scale a redwood tree with their ginormous cock dragging up it, but like.
It's usually a pogo stick.
Yeah, I guess. But like, that's just what keeps me. I'm like, how human-like are they? How smart are they? Like you said, you're out that deep. That's another thing. I mean, there's places in these wooded forests and stuff that in the United States that haven't been explored. That's my. I'm like, yeah, obviously, the more you're not like, yeah, you might even like the show and stuff. It's bullshit up to some point, but like. Yeah, you're not going 100 miles in the middle of a forest and, wherever to look for, like, yeah, you might go, like, drive 20 miles, maybe walk, 500 yards, 1,000 yards, or maybe a mile in there or two. But you're not going to go, okay, yeah, I know there's 400 more miles of woods. No matter which way I go, I'm going to go nearly to the back of it and walk through the middle and stuff. There ain't no way. Especially out that far, you can get on the mountaintops and see. Like for all I know, they might have night vision, dude. Might can see in the dark.
They could. So
the ultimate pervert.
Yeah, he's like Theo Vaughn. He's like, I'll watch your whole family eat. I'm a peeping Tom, dude.
So I would say on the conspiracy theory thing, since we've ended up going down this road on multiple episodes, I would have to say that my fascination with conspiracy theories is not necessarily because I believe them, but I'm just intrigued by them, and I like hearing about all of them.
And then it's the what if.
There is a big what if factor, and that's why I'm open to listening to all of them, because there are some that make you go,
like the lizard people.
No, wait a minute. Yeah. And there's plenty, like in the comments on this last one that we had, that you go, I want to give it a like to thank you for taking the time to put your comment on there, watching our stuff. I really want to give you a like. However,
probably know where you're going.
that's.
I don't want something.
I don't think I can get behind that one at all.
Yeah,
like that one is so far out there that I can't even give it a like out of humorous. Like that would be a good one. No, this one's so far out there that if I smashed the like button, I feel dirty because it's bad.
There's some of them, that you just they're so dark that you just hope is not true. It probably is.
Yeah.
Those
would
government,
be the ones.
trafficking,
listen,
craziness. I like fun things.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with the government.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that anything that has to do with the government that has come out that's a conspiracy theory that I'm gonna get behind. But anything with the government, I'm gonna listen to and go, well, now wait a minute,
Yeah.
because especially, and this could go down a whole nother hour and a half topic, especially lately,
Oh man, yeah, it's bad.
the last
Bad.
6 months.
And people buy it, man. People buy everything.
every
Yeah.
bit of it.
The
We
internet.
were talking about that again, super duper sidetrack, but that's what we do. We were talking about that the other day. That right now, the amount of people who don't look at everything, they pick whatever and that's what they go with, and it's so compartmentalized and governed by something that the amount of shit that's spewed with hopes of somebody's just going, oh yeah, I'm taking it all, from news agencies to 3-letter agencies to whatever else agencies. I 100% can't prove it now. Feel that they're all intertwined somehow. So anything that's got anything to do with that, I'm gonna go do tell. Some of them again are so far out there that I'm not gonna get behind it. But there's some that do have some legitimacy that do make you go, what's that about?
Like the lizard people. I'm in on it.
See, I like
Are you in on the lizard people?
Mm-hmm.
I like the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Something that's close to sci-fi.
Yeah.
Real world stuff will just drive you insane after a while.
Yeah.
That's why I like Bigfoot. I mean, what would be better than seeing an 8-foot tall, unless it was beating me against a tree, like
got you by your ankle. Like,
if I saw a Bigfoot in person, I would just, dude, I would never tell anybody.
So you think that's your top one, like of anything?
If that hope was real.
Yeah, if you were doing whatever you could to enhance your thinkabilities, what is Bigfoot yours that you would think if you could see it in real life, that'd be it?
It'd be cool just to know it's real.
yeah. I just.
See, I don't know what mine would be.
Now, Mothman's a cool one. I think it's way more far-fetched, but like Mothman, that's a pretty cool one. I would love to see a Mothman too.
I'm not. I'm gadgety, and I'm not that far down the conspiracy theory hole yet. So I'm gonna say if I get to use my rubber genie bottle and make something come true, I think I want the Iron Man suit. I think I want to meet him.
Something like that, man.
Yeah, I think I want to meet him, and then like, sup, dog, and let him get me to test drive it or something.
Test drive it, yeah. Got insurance on it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's the Iron Man suit. If I follow, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of, I'm not, like I'm starting, I've always been intrigued. But since we've started this cute little thing and the comments that have come in, now that we've just about got this to where I'm not constantly trying to build it, and I can go back to, see, I used to dive deep and look at stuff and go into stuff, and now that we're having a podcast about stuff, I ain't got time to look at stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we about got it. There's a few more things I need to do, but knock on something. I think it's about there. So hopefully, now I'll be able to start digging into some of these comments and stuff, because some of them, like there was one north. Yeah, sorry, that one's a little strong.
You're good.
North something about the back during the Cuban Missile Crisis, the government was doing like fake planes and stuff, trying to create it, making it look like it was Cuba, so that we would have to go into it. I'll put it back in and post edit. But anyway, any of that kind of stuff, I didn't used to think that it was possible.
Oh man, yeah.
But again, not focusing on just one channel, and opening your eyeballs and looking at all the stuff, you really start to question some stuff.
Oh, big time. Going back to like Rothschilds kind of stuff, like the history stuff that turns out to be true. We're like, oh, this might be true. Like you can definitely go down rabbit holes with that. World War II, big stuff around World War II, and
sure.
Yeah,
it's fascinating for sure.
Well, I mean, we're all getting super philosophical. We're all human.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna make some pretty big sized fuck ups. And I know I've made plenty. Some made some this week. But to be in that tall of a position and to have a massive screw up like that, you're going to try to do everything you can to cover it. And then that's just going to snowball into something else, into something else, into something else. And even like now, the people who were, like Trump and RFK, teaming up, and now everybody's like, they're going to be together, and he's going to put him over the CIA, and they're going to release what happened to his uncle, and blah, 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 blah. No.
The ramifications of finding the truth of that would be too much of a national security risk.
It's a snowball, because
it would make you everybody would question everything.
What started as one dude's fuck up however many years ago, in order to keep that covered, just creates this bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger problem. And so, yeah, you may get somebody, and I think he's going to be able to do a lot of stuff to fix a lot of things. Who knows, whatever. That's a topic for a different day. But my point is, no matter how big of a person he wants to be and uncover some of that stuff, I don't think, I think somebody that would be a super duper trusted advisor to him would come and say, no.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it.
Like, the point of what that would be, what would be the point, at this point in time, like with the world's as crazy as it is, I mean, it's just going to make people spiral out of control just that much more. People already spiral over everything. Like,
a little bit.
I guess it's not Twitter anymore, but X. Like, bro, you get on there for 15 minutes, you feel mentally ill.
Yeah.
I know.
You're like, oh my God, like you're wanting to hide your children from the world. Like we got to do something about the border now. It's like, I mean,
well, and there's X is, or Twix or Twitx or whatever. It's one of those that has always, to me, been, there's no happy medium. Like Facebook or some of the other ones, even TikTok, if you don't watch some stuff too long, will give you a little bit of a balance. Like, you can find some kind of common ground, somebody to watch. Twitter or X, to me, has always been, I'll be scrolling and there's some over there thought process, whether it's political or whatever, and then there's some way, there's two completely separate,
oh yeah,
there's lizard people on this side, and there's whatever on the, it's complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
it's and super aggressive.
Yeah, like being on X is kind of like going to a family reunion, and you got your 60-year-old uncle, that has seen some shit, has been in the world for a while. He's from the South, and you got your non-binary niece on the other side, and they're screaming at each other while everybody's trying to eat. You're like, can we not just eat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to yell at everything, and they're just screaming back and forth, and you're trying to eat turkey.
I think it was just wrapping it up that anything that has anything to do with the government nowadays is super intriguing to me. From what happened yesterday, I don't know if anything happened yesterday. I'm just saying from a time frame.
Yeah.
Yesterday all the way back now. Used to, and that's what we talked about, the moon landing one time, and I said that it had to be true because Tom Hanks played a dude in that movie that, for the longest, those American feel-good stories I got behind, and I was like,
oh, you got mad if somebody doubted it. You're like,
yeah,
what?
Well, and I don't get mad anymore, but I do. I'm like, you're not probably right, but I'm not for sure anymore. I used to think I got it, but good to meet you.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore, because all the things that you used to think were plausible or true, now you go, there's ways around it. You were talking about the lizard people a minute ago, both of you. My immediate thought anytime I see anything about lizard people is AI. It's photoshopped. It's not real.
You're probably 100% on that.
Well, see, I don't know.
I'm not
Because
saying,
I-
I'm
because
not, I'm not saying 100%.
Because I used to think 100% we landed on the moon.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I for really, fucking for really. But now Elon Musk, I watched him the other day. He was on with Tucker Carlson, and as much money and as much ability as he has, I kind of take him for whatever he says. I may be wrong. I don't know, but he said we for really landed. He said, I've seen it. I got it. We did it. So I don't know.
Yeah, but if a politician, like a really hated politician, just stood up on a podium in front of the world on camera one day and just snatched a mask off, and it was just like this iguana-looking reptile, you would go, man, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, I get it. I was right. I was right this
It's like
whole time.
Bigfoot. Yeah, I was like, I tried telling you.
Yeah. Oh, that kind
See,
of.
I think all of us over 40.
Just anything. I mean, like whatever.
See,
like,
and
it could
that's-
be like the P Diddy shit. fucking
that's-
whatever.
That's probably the big, like,
Yeah, that's
P.
been the
Diddy is
newest,
biggest story. And it's just, dude, it's so
Wild.
Like, so I've been keeping up with
Somebody
this shit.
owes somebody a Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like watching nonstop cops, like in the '90s, when you're like, man, please tackle them and find crack. Like you just know it's gonna get crazier and crazier. Like especially like when the lube came out, he's using Justin Bieber like a fleshlight. Like all this kind of stuff. Like,
Flashlight. That's funny. Yeah.
So I have saved.
I mean, that's sad, but it's
Yeah.
probably true.
Probably true.
I have saved every P Diddy meme I have come across in the last 3 weeks, and I should have had it ready. I was planning on having something, and we were going to discuss some on here, because there's some pretty good ones,
Yeah,
especially once the lube came out.
yeah, man. I'll tell you. Who is the the rapper's name that's really involved in this? Apparently he's been Diddy's backdoor man for sure. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going blank. But the poor guy is just getting roasted all over online. He's trying to justify his sexuality like till he's blue in the face. That's driving me crazy.
Jay-Z or someone like that.
No.
They're semi-popular.
Yeah, not as
so
popular
that-
as Diddy.
yeah.
I can't believe I'm going blank
going
on the guy's
blank.
name. But he's a rapper that they have the audio of the supposedly Diddy's bodyguard recorded him through the bedroom door, and Diddy's just wearing him out. I mean, he
Give him the old Diddy.
They said
Yeah.
they done it to Will Smith too. One of the guys that come out and was like, I walked in the room like on accident, and he was like, and he's wearing it out.
yeah.
Walked in the room like on accident, and he was like, and he's wearing it out.
Yeah, I mean, dude's turned into a leather wallet by the end of it. You know what I mean? Like the way it sounded through that door, if that's true. I hope it's not, for that guy's sake. Turn inside out, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Have you seen that? I was talking about the whole P. Diddy thing. Like y'all, I don't know if y'all know who he is or stay up. Like Kevin Gates. He's all the time talking about like some freaky fucking shit. It's what half his songs are now. The women eat it up, whatever. It's kind of cringy. But everyone knows, been making the memes and been like, yeah, because he was like, I ain't never been to no P. Diddy party. And everyone's like, yeah, because Kevin Gates is too freaky for P. Diddy. Like, P. Diddy was scared for Kevin Gates to come to his party,
Yeah.
I thought that was extremely funny. It just cracked me up. And then like 50 Cent, like we talked about it with Cleo. That
Hilarious, dude.
Yeah,
So funny.
He's dogging the mess up, making a whole joke out of it, and it's so funny. He's about to find something good. I know it.
No, I'm trying. I was trying to find the name. I can't believe I'm going blank on a podcast of the guy's name because it's so fun. I feel so bad for the guy because it's just everything on his X feed is just torture,
Yeah.
painful
He needs
memories.
to delete his account at this point.
Yeah, it's
May have. Yeah.
I know who you're talking about though. I can't. I'll be laying in bed tonight. And
the child stuff's dark. Like I hope like it's probably true. But hell, in front of his mansion in Florida, they had boats out there searching the water. Like I don't know if they're looking for bodies or what they're looking for, but
I got you.
Okay.
Talking about the new news stuff like that. I don't know if y'all did you find his name?
Meek Mill.
Meek Mill. Yeah.
Meek Mill.
Yeah. Bless his heart.
Poor guy.
But talking about new stuff. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but it was about this guy releasing this video of that Bayside View alien encounter, whatever, in Florida. Have y'all seen that? So it was this year. I'm pretty sure it might have been last year. Like somewhere in Florida, I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Like around Miami or something like that, but like it's some like Bayside Mall or something like that. Like this, like there was hundreds of cops swarmed the mall. Everyone got evacuated, and everyone's talking like there were some videos got of like that was there like, and if it was AI or photoshopped or something, no, it was just like them seeing it like basically like a skinwalker do like transform stuff, but like actually being aliens like tall, black, long, lanky, walking around like three of them. And there was videos like right after like once it like, hey, this is going on live. There was a few videos that if it was AI, it got popped up fucking quick, and it was almost too quick to be like, okay, that's not true. That's got to be true. But there's apparently this one guy that has like a video of stuff, and then after this certain amount of time, he started coming because like everyone got evacuated, news crews got sent away, like it was like a thing, and then it was like gone. Everybody forgot about it type deal. Well, then this guy starts coming out here recently, being like, I'm sharing the video, I'm putting this video out there. Well, then all of these like higher end up people and stuff like that start coming to him, and they're like, they're not. Yeah. They're not. And he's like, came out. He was like, because he was first made a statement. I'm gonna drop, and then kind of like the girl on the plane that saw that whatever freaking out. You are not real. He was. I'm not dropping the video, but it wasn't. Oh, I was just saying. It was. I'm told that I cannot release this, and so it makes you want. I mean, like, why are people gonna make it shit? But like, what? I mean, how is it not true for all of the people that how hush hush it got? Because it was big, like it blew up on the news, and all of a sudden it was like they went, "Hey, get that off the news," and
that's where I was going when I lost my train and you took over. I made a note because I finally found it. How deep does that stuff go? Because like if you're having, and that's what I'm saying, we touched on it when I think Khalil was here.
Probably.
If you're having P. Diddy style parties,
oh yeah,
okay, there's a bunch of ass people there. How deep does the cloak of
dark world
go? That there's that many people that can go to a P. Diddy style party. And now it's coming out what all happens in those parties, and nobody come away from that and go, "Hey y'all, y'all might want to check on that," because somebody swoops in like Will Smith with his little thing,
Men in Black,
and tells you don't do that. And it's not until something super duper big like this happens that then everything's kind of brought in perspective, just like the other feller that had the Island.
Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that stuff started coming out, how deep does that go? And so when you start asking those type questions and you realize how big some stuff is, then it kind of brings some of the other little stuff into perspective and makes you go, that might be doable.
Especially like with that, like I was talking. I mean, because like, why else would everybody be evacuated? There's hundreds of cops that and not just cops, like military personnel as well. And it being just, and then like all of a sudden it's It's gone. No, like it was so quick and so big that like, it popped up. Like if you weren't seeing it happen, you didn't know about it. Type deal. I don't know if y'all even seen it or not, but it was for like a day or a 24-hour period. It was like, oh shit! Like what the is? Because it wasn't no mass shooting deal. What no someone tried to pull a gun. Like it was. Something went on, whatever it was, whether it was the aliens, and that's the thing, is that it was aliens walking around, is what everyone's saying. The people that were there, that like, yeah, like I saw it, it's like, that's happened. Obviously, no damn video. We're all scared and getting run out with cops running with guns in and everything, you know, and military showing up all of a sudden. But it was just like, how do you not believe that stuff? I mean, like, how does it just, like you said, how deep does it go that everybody's just getting pushed off and hush-hush and it's being silenced, and then this dude's trying to post videos that's immediately getting taken down, and they're like, it's like, I'm showing everybody, and they're like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
And at the same time, you know, like, the general population, it almost seems like you can put aliens right in their face, but it's like, wait, Diddy is having sex with rappers. Who gives a shit about aliens right now?
I know.
And that kind of,
let's see what happened with this lube.
Yeah, it's fucked aliens. So, but that also kind of happened like when P Diddy thing kind of came up, but then it blew up. Was also the same time that the dude started coming out saying that it was. He's like, I think Kalia had brought it up. Like, you know, every time like something comes up that like shouldn't be unscrewed, something fucking else crazy.
That was
that is most of the time true. Always comes up to distract you from it.
Well, that's just like, man, we're going such down. Let's start over. We're going down such a rabbit hole. The atmosphere that we're in at the moment with the election, the October surprise, it has a name. That every election season something comes out and it has a name, and it's we're all sitting here waiting for the October surprise. Yeah. So the shit is there. Everything that we see, everything that we're experiencing, everything that we're a part of, and everything that we have to listen to is planned. Damn it. That's what I'm thinking.
I know. I can get to November and just stand out in my yard, craned open, just give it to me, government.
Yeah.
Come on, world, show me what you got.
Yeah. But just to finish it up, I was the whole alien thing. I was talking about, you know, it being the P Diddy thing getting brought up. Like, I'm almost positive I seen they had a news conference about the dude, like them having a press conference and saying, government officials and stuff saying that we're not letting him release that because it will cause I forgot what words they use for it, but basically like a world catastrophe of confusion and
mass hysteria.
And like they publicly come out and say, and that's what fucks me up, is because there's been other things that been like kind of like this. Obviously, it might not be this certain topic or whatever, but things like this, and they come out and be like, you're not finding out about that. We're not telling the truth because then you're all going to freak out. And everybody goes, oh, well, okay, that's fine. And I get it. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, you know what? I'm perfectly fine not knowing that. But then I'm like, now it's like telling me I got a puppy and not showing me a fucking picture of it. No, motherfucker, I want to see the fucking puppy. Matter of fact, I want to play with it and probably give it a bath or something, you know, make it feel real homey and stuff. Buy a little cute little sweater or something, you know.
Anyways. It's bad when people, you know, they'd rather see Art the Clown chainsaw murder somebody than pay attention to the news right now.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's
it's tough, man.
Yeah, that's where we're at. So I think wrapping this bad boy up, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, got some good stuff.
Yeah, I think if you hadn't watched us yet, and somehow you stumble upon this one, you should watch it. If you haven't watched any of them, you can find them right over in this general vicinity, and then keep it up with us. There's some good stuff coming. Country music, up and coming superstar, in my opinion. Super awesome guy. That's gonna hit one day soon, within the next.
Probably before this one. No,
I don't know.
Maybe.
That one we
still
got
having to tweak it. Yeah.
That one we got some stuff to overcome. So
hopefully
that'll probably
soon after this one. Now
probably after this one. But for tonight, I think we had some really good conversations with Clay. Took us down memory lane. Took us down some stuff I didn't know about the music industry and the horror film industry and the
tattoos.
And the tattoo. Well, yeah, we pretty much all agreed on that. They suck, but we still want them.
Yeah.
For some reason. So
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I hadn't sat behind a mic in forever, so I'm out there grooming myself and being like, because we were before YouTube, so I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be on camera. Everybody's gonna hate me.
yeah.